Just waiting for our guests to come in. All right. Got the man of the hour is getting ready to come on. Turn the volume down. Might be having some connection issues with the person that's joining. He might be having some problems joining. Stay with us, y'all. We're having a few little issues, y'all. Stay with us. Okay, let's try to get him in this time. Here we go. Tory, what's going on, man? Unmute your mic, Tory.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How's it going, man?
Oh, good.
It's good, man. Staying safe from this pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
All right, all right. Well, y'all, let's get it going. This is our guest for the night, Mr. Tory Williams, Baker Middle School head band director. So, man, give a little background information for yourself for the people who may not know you.
Well, hello, I'm Tory Williams. I'm a 2004 graduate of Baker High School and a 2009 graduate of Southern University Music Education. Of course, 4-year member of the Southern University Human Jukebox and also a member of the Symphonic Band. I've been teaching at Baker Middle School for 11 years, so I'm going on my 12th year this year.
Okay, okay. So, when did you fall in love with music?
Let's say I started really taking an interest in music in middle school, starting off in 7th grade when the band director at the time, Ms. Murray, invited me and recruited us into the band. You know, I followed my friends into it and started on trumpet, learning all the notes and all that. And when the high school band came down and recruited us, they did like a special performance and got us all excited to join the high school band. Once I got in the Baker High School band and did band camp and so I could play the music in March, that's when things really took off. And what really changed things for me was my senior year. I had the chance to conduct a piece with the concert band, and it made me realize, like, hey, I can do this for a living. I really like this.
Okay, okay. Interesting, interesting. So, who would you say are your biggest influencers in the band world? You know, whether it's band directors, arrangers, you know, people like that.
Well, of course, I have to start off with my high school director, Mr. Trent Johnson, former Baker High and Port Arthur band director. He started it with me. Then I also have to say with Southern, of course, Dr. Isaac Griggs, Mr. Carnell Knighton, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Hamer, all those influence a lot of things that I do today with the band, arranging wise and with how I'm teaching.
Okay, okay. So, what would you say were some of the challenges you had to face when you took over Baker Middle School?
Well, the number one thing was when I first came into Baker Middle, it was kind of unstable. They had a lot of turnover with the band directors. They'll stay like a year and then will leave. So that, of course, affected the numbers. So trying to get the numbers back with the band, that was one thing. Another, of course, you're always dealing with instruments and resources and funding. So you have to find ways to deal with that. And then just getting the kids to really take an interest into the band. So you have to find ways to combat those issues that I encountered.
Okay, okay. So, what made you want to be a band director? Like, what popped up in your head and say, you know what, this is what I want to do as a career?
I'll say when I was finally given a chance to be a leader in the high school band, being section leader of the baritone section, and then also being a drill master where we help with the drills, teaching students marching fundamentals and assistant the director during after school practices, teaching the drills, I got to see like, okay, I see I'm doing pretty well with teaching and all that. And then getting to direct a song with the concert band. And I saw how fun it was to be on the podium. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give this a chance. And of course, going to Southern, you really start learning about how much you really love music doing that. Seeing all the people that come together from all over the country and come to a band program like that and put in so much hard work to keep the legacy going. I was like, I want to do this for the rest of my life.
Okay. So, what's some of the best advice that you have gotten since becoming a band director?
Say some of the best advice. I'll say one is forming a relationship with the staff that you're working with your custodians, with the secretary, with your guidance counselor, and getting your administrators also. You have those people on your side. You're going to need that to be successful for long term in your career, no matter what school you're at. Another bit of advice is trying to get the children to buy in. You have to show them that you really care for them. And when they see that you care for them and you're doing what's best for them, then you'll find it is much easier to get them to buy into your program. And also, don't be afraid to reach out for help. Like they say, with raising children takes a village. Same thing with building a good band program. It takes a village. So reach out for help when you need it.
Okay. So even though it's just the middle school level, what are you looking for, or what's your goals? As far as trying to get these kids ready for high school band, college band, just learning the basic fundamentals. What are you looking for?
In terms of looking for, I'm looking for students that are open-minded and are ready to accept the challenge, because band isn't easy. You have to have self-discipline, and you have to be willing to work hard to learn the fundamentals on your instrument. So I'm looking for kids that are willing to put in that work, that are dedicated. Where I'm at, we have to have after school practices to make things work and to prepare for performances. So I'm just looking for those type of kids that are really ready to work.
Okay. So what would you say has been your best moment so far as a band director?
Say the best moment is seeing my students walk across the high school stage and going to follow how I did, going on to play in the college groups at Alcorn, at Southern, and seeing that, I was like, wow, it started here at Baker Middle, and now I'm seeing them go through Baker High, and now they're at Southern, and I get to watch them on the videos and see them enjoying themselves as well. That's a very great accomplishment to look at.
Okay, so out of the songs that you have written for the band, what would you say is your personal favorite?
See, in terms of for middle school, I'll say probably my favorite was probably the song Flawless that my band did by Beyonce a few years ago. They really did a great job with it, and they seemed to enjoy it when we played it at the concert. And I'll probably say also enjoy it when I did Rolling in the Deep. Like, they got a standing ovation, and I think that was probably the turning point of when the kids really started buying into the program. The whole crowd loved them when we played it at the winter concert. Mm-hmm. And as far as high school, I say my favorite arrangement might have been the one that the high school played this year by Beyonce, Before I Let Go.
Okay.
So I say those have been my favorite arrangements.
Okay. So what advice would you give an up and coming band director that's, just getting started? What's some good advice you can give to them?
Well, I let them know, a good portion of your job is outside of arranging songs and teaching music. You're going to have to wear many, many hats. You're going to be a counselor. You got to give a lot of guidance to the students, and it goes beyond teaching and arranging music. You got to be able to manage business, set up performances with people and everything, organize traveling. It's a lot of things that go into being a band director that's outside of just teaching music. So just be prepared for that.
Okay. So is there any advice you would like to give to your band students, with all of this COVID-19 going on, this social issues going on? Is there any words of encouragement or advice you would like to give to your students?
I like them to, just talk about it, talk things out. Don't be afraid to share your opinion and all that. Talk things out, find people that you can talk to. It's okay to discuss this. Don't sweep things under the rug and hide your feelings, because that's how we've gotten into situations like this. So find somebody and find your avenues to talk things out. And also, be safe. social distance, wear your mask. You know, a lot of things are turning political. And when we start doing those things like that, that's where we get into trouble as a country. You know, just think about others and take care of yourselves and be prepared for the school year, because we're going to find a way to have band going on in Baker.
Yes, yes. Some kind of way there will be band, y'all. Some kind of way. So, man, as far as the band culture in in Baton Rouge and in Baker, how would you say the band culture is right now? Is it better than it was when you were in school, or has it gotten worse? Is it still the same? What's your thoughts about that?
I'll say it's a little bit different. I won't say it's worse. I'll say it's different. When I was in school, all this technology and all this stuff, that was just becoming the wave then. I mean,
Right.
very few people even had cell phones. I mean,
Mhm.
social media didn't exist. We didn't have YouTube. So we didn't have all these distractions that the children have today.
Right.
So I think today we have to be a little bit more flexible with trying to get children to take an interest in what we're doing, because there are more things out there that can draw their attention away. So I'll say it's changed in that manner.
Okay, okay. We have my co-host Ricky Watkins joining. Okay, Tory, we have a question for you from Smash Time Productions. He says, "Can you see yourself being a high school band director in the future?"
I thought about that. As of now, I'm comfortable at the middle school level because I like the flexibility of it all. You know, it's not as time consuming, your afternoons and all that with your weekends. I like to travel with Southern's and watch Southern football games and all that and follow them around. You know, with high school band, you're kind of limited with that. So I kind of like the flexibility. But if I would leave, it would have to be the right situation.
Okay, okay. We have another question from Mr. Trent Johnson. He said, "What is your favorite concert band song?"
If my favorite concert band song would have to be the song we played my senior year in the concert band at Baker High, would be Folk Dances.
Okay,
Very challenging piece. I love it. I love playing highly technical pieces when I was coming up on my instrument. So I'll say Folk Dances.
okay, okay. So, what would you say are some things that are some ways that people can help your band program, whether it's fundraising or giving back, or you just mentoring the kids? What's some ways that they can help out your band program?
I say just showing the kids that you're supporting them, you know, show up to their events. That in itself, when they see that their parents and their community are out there showing up and supporting them, that goes a long way to them really loving to being a part of the organization. So that, of course, fundraising and participating in the fundraisers, because you know, at schools or in urban areas, you tend to lack funding and lack the resources needed that other schools may have. So definitely helping out with fundraising will also help as well.
Okay, Ricky, man, did you have any questions for Tori?
Oh no, man! I'm just getting back from getting seafood. I'm sitting here. I just chimed in. Hey, how you doing, Tor?
Hey, good. How you doing?
Man, glad to see you doing good. Hope your family doing well. Your kids, your program doing well due to COVID-19 situation.
Yeah.
Um, my thing is, how have it you been able to have a steady flow of strategic band members coming through that program year in, year out? What are you doing? What's the secret?
Well, I think a lot of times, you know, it's the culture. You know, Baker High was, if you look at Baker High's band program, even back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, it's always been a culture of success. If you ask people who's the first band from Louisiana that performed in the Rose Bowl, a lot of people probably guess Southern or Grambling, LSU. It was actually Baker High School.
Oh,
So
wow.
even back in the 50s and 60s, Baker High has always had a culture of excellence, and that's continued on. And I think just like with Alabama's football program or even LSU football program, people are attracted to winners. So I think that winning culture is what keeps the kids interested.
Yeah. And I remember when Trent first did his student teaching. I think that had to be 97 or 98 school year under the Caucasian band director. Y'all had a big band up there.
So yeah, they did.
That was a big band Baker had Um,
Mhm.
what are the things that influence you the most to stay at the middle school level and not go to the next level? Because next level is right next door.
Right. Well, you know, somebody has to do the middle school job. Not, you know, I feel like, I found my area that I like really doing is middle school. So somebody has to do it. A lot of
And
times you see people come out of college, they try and rush off to the high school jobs and forget about the feeder program. So as of now, I'm happy being with the feeder program.
and you know what, Tory? I'm glad you made that statement because I was talking with somebody else the other night, and I said the same thing. Just because you graduate college don't mean you're a high school band director yet. You coming out of school, you need to go to the middle school level and build and fix the flaws that you may find dealing with children, because it's different from 6 through 8 and 9 through 12. 6 through 8 gonna give you a little lip, you write them up, they're gonna be quiet. 9 through 12, they're gonna be ready to fight. You know what I'm saying? So some people got to understand where they're placed in the circle of a life, which I call the circle of the fifth. Because what happens is they're trying to get to the next level to supersede their friend and show them that I'm better than you, in which if they was to go to the middle school and help their friend and join their friend on that high school level as an assistant director, that program will succeed instead of trying to be different and be subjected to I'm the head band director, I do what I want to do role. You're failing yourself. You're hurting the program. You're hurting the school name. You're tarnishing your career. And most of all, you're hurting the future education of the world. I mean, musicians of the world. I'm glad that you found yourself complacent at the middle school and been doing what you're doing. It's been about, what, 10 years?
11.
I was close.
Because
Because you remember when I was helping Tamika at Washington Marion.
Right.
I asked you when you was gonna go to the high school level. You told me soon. Shit, soon. I left Washington Marion in 15. Man, that's been a while, man. But I and the thing is, a lot of people gonna compare other big cities like New Orleans, Memphis, all these other cities to like Baton Rouge middle schools. The middle schools in Baton Rouge never had that structure. You have the most structure as a disciplined middle school band program. So when people say middle school band program, they have to comprehend that none of the successful high school directors actually went to a middle school. They actually a lot of people don't realize a lot of band directors roll into a band program that's already got the wheels turning. All they got to do is just add a little bit to it and keep going.
Right.
Because you see a lot of band directors, Tory, that don't want to go to middle school, go to a high school. And when the wheels stop turning, they jump ship because they can't get them turning because they don't know what they do. They only know this person had a freshman class in 2019. I could take the job because the seniors and everybody gonna be gone. This freshman class is gonna hold it down for 3 years, and I'm gonna look good. But they can't go nowhere and start it from the bottom. You know what I'm saying? So I applaud your efforts with those kids in middle school. You remember Tory? I had a stepdaughter in your band class.
Oh yeah.
On clarinet. And ask Tory D. Everybody, Tory could vouch for this. She was coming home, not having an instrument. Tory asked me. I called Tory. He told me what she needed. What I did, Tory. I brought it right up to the school. No questions asked. There you go. You ain't got no reason. And that's what I told Tory, what I told him in front of her. If she don't do her work, don't learn that horn, you fail her ass.
All right.
All right. We got another question from Smash Time. He said, what's your favorite middle school band besides yours?
Well, of course, I always try and look at what other programs doing. I kind of have to divide it up with marching and concert. I kind of always try and model off what Mr. Pizzo is doing at Sherwood Academic Magnet Middle. I mean, just every year, sweepstakes at festival. So I've always been trying to get to
always, that. Since the 90s.
Yes.
Sherwood Middle always had an outstanding concert band.
Always. And as far as with marching band, of course, I'm pretty in tune. I'm like what I see out of Alice Hort out of New Orleans. Listening to them, it's almost like listening to a high school band.
Okay. So what would you say would be your worst experience as a band director? Just that day where everything was going wrong, whether your kids just weren't listening, they weren't learning the music, just everything was going downhill.
Every weekend.
I say the worst experience is it was earlier in my career. You had a big performance coming up. We had just came off of Southern's Concert Band Festival. They made a one. And I'm like, oh, we gonna make ones at Concert Band Festival. We on point. Then all of a sudden, it was like 1 week later, getting ready to go to LMEA. We had practice. Kids didn't come to practice. Then this was like right after state testing. So of course you didn't get to really see them in class to work on the things we need to work on. So I really needed them at practice. They didn't come to practice. They were going to all these other different sports practices. And then some students didn't show up the day we had the performance.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh my goodness. So I had to try and make on the fly adjustments right there on the day of the performance. You know, they did about as well as I could expect them to do, but I really was disappointed because I really felt that year we had a chance at sweepstakes.
Okay. Like, were you ever frustrated enough to say, you know what, man, I'm done with this. You know, maybe this not for me. Maybe I should try something else. Like, have you ever reached that point before?
Oh yeah, it's definitely my first year. Because, you know, you're trying to, that was first year, you're learning, you take a lot of bumps and bruises your first year, trying to learn how to manage the behaviors of students. You know, you're like, oh my goodness, they just don't care about this like how much I do. You know, so definitely my first year, I definitely felt that, but I powered on through it and here I am still here today.
Okay. We have a question from Mr. Alex Frazier. He said, what's the most fulfilling aspect of being a middle school director?
The most fulfilling aspect is seeing those students, not necessarily the ones that just, because, you know, you got some students that's going to start off on the horn and look like they're natural on the horn. The most fulfilling aspect is watching those students that might have struggled at first and almost wanted to quit. And then you're able to encourage them to keep on pushing and keep on improving. And then boom, it all of a sudden snaps and you see that improvement and progress in them. So seeing those students progress throughout your program, I think that's the most fulfilling aspect.
Okay. So personally, coming from you, Mr. Williams, how could we make the middle school in Baton Rouge, and not just Baton Rouge, but the state, you know, improve?
I would say first, if you look at Baton Rouge, we have a lot of middle schools, but you also have to look at how many of those middle schools have band programs.
Right.
And how many of those band programs are actually active where you actually see them out performing. So I think first thing, we have to have some advocacy for these programs and, you know, approach these administrators and tell them, you know, these are important programs to have with middle school groups, because that not only helps the children, but then also think about how that much better Baton Rouge high school bands could be if everyone had quality feeder programs. You got some high schools in this area that have no feeder programs. So and are doing good jobs, even despite not having that. So just imagine how much better it would be if we had more feeder programs in this area. And then when you have them, support them. You know, make those kids show those kids that you really appreciate how they're representing the school and the community by supporting them. So I think those are two things we can do to really help out the middle school programs in this area.
Okay. I think Ricky has a question.
Tory, as a middle school band director, do you feel or do you see that your kids are more excited to continue on to play their instruments and go to the high school and the collegiate level? Like on a Friday night, you get a chance to invite them out. Like Baker, take them to one of Baker High games and they perform in the stands for a couple songs with the high school band, like, you know, early in the season, like late in the season. Do you think that encourage them to keep going in the band, like make them want it more?
Yeah, I think that's a part of getting them more excited, where they get to see, you know, how the high school band operates and getting that experience. Because I know we actually do that at the high school. We have middle school night and we go out and perform at the game, and they actually get a chance to actually perform for themselves as well. So that everybody gets to see them perform that might not normally see it. And they get to kind of feel like they're in the high school band. And so they get a feel for that. And also last year, Baker High had hosted a gym battle, and they actually got to perform with the high school band going against other high schools. So them seeing the process, they saw like, oh, okay, this is not too bad. Because, you know, a lot of kids get scared and intimidated. And them saying, okay, I can do this. That can encourage them to want to more be a part of the high school program. So I think that does help.
Okay, another thing. How important do you see being a Southern graduate, a Baker alum, a middle school director in the city you grew up, born and raised in? How important do you see middle schools in the Baton Rouge area, middle school and high school? They're like all the middle schools got directors from what I understand. Only one I think missing one is Capital at the moment. And all the different middle school band directors like get together and sit down and host a city training for like bring the high school director in to come in and work with the different woodwind. Like you might be strong on euphonium. You take the middle school euphonium and start working with them and training them. You invite them to this high school. Them trumpet players take those trumpet players. How sufficient in structure you think that'll be to help improve bands in not only Baton Rouge but other cities?
I actually think that's an excellent idea because I believe I heard of like Atlanta and other cities that actually do stuff like that where all the directors pool their resources together and try and help each other out. So that's actually a good idea for Baton Rouge to try out to help because ultimately you're helping the children. It wouldn't hurt. So that's definitely an excellent idea doing it.
And also, do you think Southern being a pillar, the granddaddy of all HBCU bands, no matter what they say across the world? Everybody know if somebody talk about you could be in Timbuktu. You say, man, I want to hit me a college, a black HBCU band. If you ask them to name 5, Southern gonna be in the top 3.
Right.
How? Because I did something at Washington Marion with Tamika, and it kind of showed the kids different. How important is it for middle school and high school band directors to take their kids not only to see Southern, but to get a chance to go see LSU perform?
Oh, that's good to show them the diversity of music and show that, hey, there's Southern, there's LSU, because you're going to have some students that might not want to go play for Southern band or even attend Southern. They might want to attend LSU, where you can show them like, hey, LSU does band too. And they also have concert band and everything. So to see the 2 different programs and expose them to different things is great. I know I really like taking my kids each year. LSU hosts that Tiger Rama concert.
Yes.
Where all the kids in the area go to. So they get to experience that. And they really do a good job of interacting with the children with that program.
So, it's a lot of discussion about PWI bands and HBCU bands. On what level of musicianship would you call it the same fundamentals? Even though the marching styles are different, but as a person that was in a high school band that watched band for me, I think you shouldn't judge. Bands should be appreciated for the musicianship that they display.
Right. Because music is music, whether you're core style or high stepping, PWI, HBCU, we're all aiming for the same thing, to give your best performance on the field and in the stands. Everybody wants to sound good. Everybody wants their songs to be appreciated and cheered on by the crowd. So I think we all have the same goals. It's just recognizing that we have different ways of achieving those goals.
Okay.
With our programs.
And what's the future size you would like to see the Baker Middle School band be?
It's a good question.
Well, as of now, we're probably, because it depends on the size of the school. Because as of now, we're probably around 80 or 90 members.
Okay.
But I would, of course, want them to be continue to grow, but also while growing, getting those resources that's needed to help sustain us as well.
Okay. So, man, since you played in Southern University marching band, what would you say was your best moment in the band at Southern?
See, best moment with the band is so many to pick from. But I would have to say, meeting new people, your crabbing in 05, and meeting a whole bunch of different people and you forming a bond with them. And even today, you can still talk with them. And it's like, you never went away from Southern. You're still connected. So I love that bond that you formed from playing in a group like that.
Okay. So what would you say is the number one thing that the band culture in Baton Rouge and Baker is missing?
Let's see. I say the one thing that we're missing as far as culture wise, I just say everybody being on one accord, coming together.
To get togetherness.
Yeah, togetherness. Coming together, like Ricky had talked about, workshops where all the directors, do their little areas of expertise, helping out with each other's band, not being just about competing against each other, but all working together. It's not always about competition, but always working together.
And another thing that can help with them kids going from transitioning from the middle school into the high school. In the latter part of the year, when your school is having a little event, like having an event, something like leap test coming up, the high school should want to bring about 30 kids, drum section, a couple horn to the kids and play for the kids and let them know we are right up the street. You can come back and see your teachers plus perform and let your little classmates look up to you in the band. It's small things and accolades like that. And also something I would give Tamika Holiday credit for that she does at Washington Marion. She makes sure it's called Christmas Carol. Thanksgiving holiday, Christmas holiday. We take the band to different nursing homes and activities in the center and play for the elderly. And what that does, when it's time to get donations, those people don't forget.
Right.
And people say, oh, don't nobody want to donate to the program. Well, guess what? Start showing your face in the community. When you see the mayor got an event, tell the mayor, listen, mayor such and such, listen, this what I do. I would love to bring the band, because if I bring the band gonna bring the band. If I bring the full band, if I take Baker band, if I tell Baker Mayor having something like election time, I tell one of the candidates, down the line, if you win, whoever, like the mayor race, invite them all out to a debate and tell them I'm gonna bring the band. You're going to be the mayor of Baton Rouge. If I support you, can you support us? It only costs us. If I got 100 kids in Baker band, all you have to do is set aside a budget $600 and order me one set of uniform shirts. Buy me subsidizing one set of uniform shirts, and you can put on that sponsored by Mayor such and such, City of Baker. And guess what's going to happen? More people are going to see the band, and more of the band go out and do for small charity events. It'll be money less saved on the band. That means that'll be some money that you can get for more shirts and productivity. And when the people see the structure that you have with your program, the community will be like, okay, man, we're having a grand opening over here with this new restaurant. Such and such. Can you bring the band? We'll make a $500 donation to pay for your buses. Of course, the buses ain't gonna be Baker not that big. Your bus is gonna be $150 for 2-3 buses to go up the street and back.
Right.
And guess what? You done got your buses paid for. You done got more sponsorships. And guess what? Start telling them, listen. And a lot of people don't realize this. Another way to get sponsorship for your program, high school, middle school. When you performing, like if you're in the high school level and the middle school level, like I know you work with Herb up there. Man, go to those send out those letters. Listen, the band sits in this section.
Mm-hmm.
We got a platinum, a gold, and a bronze, silver, bronze, platinum donation letter status. If you donate $500, you get your big band in front of the band section or somewhere. And guess what happens? When the band plays, everybody gonna pay attention to who? Your banner right there. It's small things like that you can get done that generate the funding and have funding coming in year round for your band program. Because people don't realize this: a $250 donation could get you a lot of mouthpieces and reeds for those woodwinds and brass instruments from Ziegler or wherever you order them from. And it's small things like that could be taken into content and done. But it's so much ego trip and too much pride to do small events and wonder why they struggle to go places that they want to go. If you support home gonna support you.
Right.
Like And you know, and the thing is, Tory, I applaud you. You don't hold your kids back. You put them in parades. You go to festivals. You go to games. You do what a lot of people don't do on the high school level with their band.
Right.
You don't make excuses. And I like the structure that you have with those kids. They listen. You get on that microphone, back in high school, line up, 1, 2, 3. You know, but you know, I encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing the bag for those kids to be in somebody at college. Keep pushing it. You know, don't stress. Oh, you got to go to high school. Tell them, I done had you 2 or 3 years. Let me see you perform for 4 more with this band. And when you finish that, give me 4 more at this university. I'm gonna be proud of you because I watched you graduate middle school through the band. I watched you graduate high school through the band. I watched you go to the collegiate level and perform and graduate. That means I get to see you graduate 3 times. I'm proud of you in my heart 3 times. Once you get that, and those kids in middle schools, those value standards and morals are always going to be passed on. Mr. Tory was proud of Janae for going to Schuylerville, graduate, and go to college. I'm going to do the same thing. You know, friends in the middle school follow what the most important person do.
Yep.
Right.
And you know, and something else I learned to do when I was at Washington Marion. I tried not to pick the most popular person for drum major.
Mm-hmm.
I want the person that too many people don't care for. You get what I'm saying? Like the little average kid. That's who I want to be my drum major. Because the people that's supposed to be drum major gonna get mad and try to step their game up and get it.
Right.
But guess what? By the time you step your game up and get it, you put the person, not the person that the crowd want in front of your middle school band. Put the person that you feel most suitable for it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that sets the tone for quality musicians. Don't pick the most important person in the room. Pick the least important person in the room and make everybody else try to improve their morality, their values, their goals, their musicianship, their study habits, they thinking process of going to class every day, stop skipping class. Why this person, I'm better than this person on clarinet, but she the drum major. But look at what the attributes this person have that contributes to what I feel is drum major as a leader of my situation. That person goes to class. I never heard of the person getting wrote up. I never seen the person on the tardy list. I never seen the person in the principal unless I send them with a hall pass. Once that person set the example, everybody else gonna want to follow because why? They want to work hard to be the band captain or drum major on the next level. It starts on the lower level, then you work. It's like staircase, man. The bottom to the top. Right. You know, just keep pushing the bag, Tory. Do what you're doing. You know, man. If I can help you any kind of way, you know, I'm just a call away. A lot of people say, "Oh, crazy Ricky crazy. Ricky just talk shit to that," but they don't understand how many people I done help behind the scenes, closed doors.
Right.
Facts. One fact. A lot of people don't remember. You remember? SOD was at a Strummer practicing. No, was it a Strummer? It was either a Strummer or Baker. A Strummer, I believe. And they had all those band members, and we got them breakfast. You know what it was? It was a Strummer because they had to buy the band in memorial. You remember I went and got all them? You remember I went and got all them boxes of donuts for them kids for free? You know, and got juice from the. I went and got about 12 gallons of juices from the store down the street at the Piggly Wiggly. Why? Because I went in there and spoke as an advocate for the kids. They practicing hard to represent this area and that. Some people give you stuff. Don't be scared to ask.
Right.
Because you never know. You never know. Right. Listen, if you could do anything, can you get Baker Middle a nonprofit 501c3 status? Because you get that with that. Donations gonna come out the door because it's called itemizations for the big company, tax write-off. You never know. You might meet somebody, man, what your band need? I need to do a tax write-off. I need 4 trumpets. Bloop, bloop, bloop. You got them. Yep. You know, it just small thing. And why I know a lot of band directors on here, and you know, I'm gonna say this here. Band directors, including Tory. Remember this. Entergy, Walmart, Demco, big corporations have a volunteerism program in their budget. You have to go to, it's under community service. If you're a parent, if you're a student in your band have a parent or cousin, any family member that works at Walmart, you can get that. They can print that paper out and they can come sit with your band. It don't matter if it's 30 minutes a game. Just walk in and take pictures, show that they chaperoning with your band, and they fill that paperwork out and have you sign it, Tory, or any director, and their parents sign it, and turn it and they can take it to their store. Walmart donate up to $1,000 per worker to a child in your band.
Wow.
Yeah. It's things I know that a lot of people don't know. How do I know? It worked at Washington Marion at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, y'all can't see me. I'm sitting outside. I just got back picking up shrimps and crabs and seafood and stuff for tomorrow. But good. You know, oh yeah, boy, I'm cocked and loaded. Hold on, let me show you.
So Tory, man, since we're talking about bands, man, let's talk about all-star bands, man. What's your thoughts about all-star band? Because you know, some people say all-star band is not a good thing. You know, it takes away from the high school and college programs. But what's your thoughts about all-star band?
Well, I love the all-star bands because just I don't see how you cannot like seeing students, both alumni and high school students, all coming together over the summer and practicing on their instruments and being exposed to all this different music and coming together. I mean, I don't see how you can't like that. I really love it. I mean, when I was in high school, I started with the Baton Rouge All-Star Band. You know, I would have never known anybody from Glen Oaks or McKinley or anything, but because of that All-Star Band, I made friends from those schools. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, went with LLI, then traveling all over the country with LLI. Those are experiences many students might not ever get to experience. So I think the All-Star Bands are a great idea. I have no issues with All-Star Bands.
Okay.
Can I answer that?
Go ahead, Rick.
First of all, it shouldn't be no problem with all-star bands because those kids get a chance to practice and learn musicianship that can be taught and brought back to their program to make their program better, in which they supersede and march in through the year. Because one for sure, when Mr. Knighton had the band, he wasn't going to no high school. You had to go to LI to learn the techniques of teaching through him that he taught Southern. Right. Hamer left Washington Marion in 05, 06, I believe. And when he was at LI, he taught the fundamentals of how Hamer teach band. You know, Brian, Ked, a lot of those kids never get taught the skill set to be better musicians that can help them and help their program that they're learning from All-Star Band. Even in Mississippi, Travis Pruitt, outstanding composer, outstanding writer. He teaches those kids structures. Brian at LAI teaching those kids structures. And also, guess what? Your high school kid in those all-star programs get to sit next to people that's going to teach them proper technique, proper tone quality, attacks and release while they're in sectionals. So when they learning this over the summer from the all-star bands, it applies to your band camp. Man, listen, when we go to sectional, such and such that marched at Southern with our band director taught me and showed me this routine. Let's try to practice this together. Let's go over this. And when they go over that, it's going to make that section stronger in your band program better. And take, for instance, New Orleans. Everybody don't get a chance to meet Eric French and play under him, Kenny Collins, you know, Barrett Coleman. Even when Miguel that's at Talladega was working with them. You know, All-Star Band has seen a lot of great talent, bands members from collegiate, high school, middle school, band directors from all over. It's some band directors that teaching during All-Star Band and writing that are not band directors, that are better than some actually band directors. And so I think the hate for summer band comes in. They see their kids having more fun under another teacher or another student of the game than what they're getting from their own program. That's the part that hurts the program. And egos. It's no way, all the band directors in Baton Rouge shouldn't be working at LII. Why? Because when you have incoming freshmen, you can host the summer band camp at LII together and put all the kids under one thing. Everybody cannot pay to afford to go to Southern band camp, which is how everybody, because when you go to Southern band camp, you meet people from all over the world. Do a band camp at LII. 1 week the woodwind go, the next week the upper brass go, then 1 week the drummers go. Then do it like that. And what happens is once everybody get their talent in and the final week of the month of program, guess what? You have one big mass performance. And guess what that does? That's people get to take the things that they learned over the weekends from the different band directors, the different techniques, the different breathing structure, the different, okay, you got a downbeat, one and come in on the and, don't come in on the up and, you missing the beat. Sight reading classes. If someone teach sight reading, it'll be such a beautiful thing in these cities if they can come together over the summer instead of waiting until they're actually at school camp to try to teach those kids. Have a citywide incoming freshman, a new musician camp. Summer All-Star Band teaches that. And people wonder why New Orleans is consistent, because they had an All-Star Band.
Okay, so Tory, man, Marc Orr has a few questions. He said, ask Tory, what would he do if a student left a baritone on the bus for 3 weeks?
Oh my goodness. He bringing up what happened to me. Oh man, funny story. I do like mistakes happen. Just tell them we'll find it. Hopefully we find the horn, and we'll move on from there. Mark had to ask that question.
Okay, Ricky, man, they own you in the comments. So Ricky, Mark said, what makes them better band directors, Ricky? And then Trent Johnson said, are you saying only the college band directors can teach those things?
What Mark said?
Mark said, what makes them better band directors? I guess he's talking about the college band directors, high school band directors.
See, they're taking what I said out of context. I'm not saying the college band directors are better or the summer band directors are better than any other high school. What I'm saying is, if all directors come together as one and teach and help other students from other schools, everybody be on the same note. That's the problem. Don't nobody want to help nobody. It's just ego trips. Like when Trent was at Baker, when Trent was at Baton Rouge All-Star, when Trent was at LLI, Trent did not mind opening the door for other band directors to come in and help him. Trent was not a selfish band director. Trent was not selfish. I remember watching Trent come work with that lady against Capital in 97. It was 97 or 98. We played Baker, and y'all used to sit in the end zone, Tory.
Yeah.
That's when y'all had the bleachers in the end zone. So I'm not saying the summer band directors and the college band directors are better than nobody. I think summer band actually help a lot of high school bands kids get to where they want to go to. Like right now, it's going to be hard for a lot of bands to recuperate due to COVID-19.
Yeah. Ricky, man, he said, so Mark is saying,
hold on, I can't hear it. Put them firecrackers up.
Ricky, so Marc Ward said, you said all-star band directors are better than high school band directors. Is that what you're saying?
That ain't what I'm saying. What I said was, it's a lot of high school band directors on certain levels in certain cities across the country that despise of what happens with summer bands because they're jealous of what their kids are being exposed to, and they don't have the tools to expose them to. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And y'all already know Ricky will tell this to anybody, any day, any place. That's how I just feel. Like right now, you got people saying certain things about certain bands. Man, when y'all see these bands, y'all talk to them and like it ain't nothing. Tell them what you said behind their back. Fuck. Don't be mad at me because I ain't scared to tell a motherfucker what it is.
Y'all done got Ricky started. Mark, you got Ricky started, man.
Man, I'm good. D, listen, man. I just went and picked up 150 crabs for tomorrow and 40 pounds of shrimp. I'm not worrying about nothing. Cause listen, band don't pay my bills. I do what I do for kids and band programs from the heart. You know what I'm saying? Band don't pay these bills over here.
Mm.
You know, I'm just one of the ones that ain't scared to speak out to the one that got opinions.
Mm.
And you know, how can I say it? I'm not gonna even say that though. Next question. I ain't gonna even say that. I ain't gonna even say that because I know I stir up a beehive and people gonna think the laughing and joking and it gonna go away from band to some street shit, which a lot of people ain't ready for.
Rick, man. But Tory, man, is there anything you need for your band program? You know, shirts, equipment, anything like that, man? Maybe me and Ricky could be of assistance.
As of now, we're just trying to find a way to see how we're gonna do band this fall. Of course, we could always use reeds. I mean, that'd be killing our budget. Just getting reeds for the clarinets and saxophone players.
Send us a list of sizes you need.
All right, I will. Any help is needed. Will be well received.
Mark, come on, man. Mark said y'all having a Juneteenth boil. Mark, man, don't make me block you, man. No, man.
you ain't got to block him.
Who is this?
Hey.
Alex Frazier? What's going on, Alex?
Hey, listen. They know what it is with Ricky. They know. Mark ain't gonna tell y'all that I slapped him with it Donaldsonville. I mean in Northside after that battle of the band when I was at Washington when he was sitting on the side and went around the other way of the track.
Man, speaking of battle bands, Trent, man, as far as the high school battle bands, what's the best high school battle band that you've either been a part of or that you watched? Oh, yeah.
Man, these niggas.
Okay. We have another question, Tory. Trent said, who was better, Baker or Capital?
Oh my God.
What'd he say?
That doesn't need to be answered.
Who was better, Baker or Capital?
What'd you say?
That doesn't need to be answered.
What'd he say?
He said, who was better, Baker or Capital?
Right now, Baker? What high school bands? Of course, you cannot compare Capital to no one because we have no program. and Baker didn't have a Baker didn't have a good strong band until I think Trent got there. So there was more core style. So by the time Baker started evolving into a competitive band, Capital was declining to a non-satisfactional band program. Let's speak the real and speak clear. Let's be factual on that.
Man, y'all are up in these comments.
Matter of fact, hold on. Let me get my laptop so I can see some of these comments. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Tory, what I told you, man. I told you Ricky was gonna cut up.
No, I'm not cutting up. I'm not cutting up, D. It's just like people say slick shit and don't think shit could be answered. You know what I'm saying? Slick shit don't go by around here, man. It don't.
Mark, man, come on, man. Ease up, man. Ease up.
Mark, you went to Zachary. When y'all had a program besides concert? Speak on it. Speak on it. I'm logging in. Hold on. I'm logging in.
So Tory, what would you say? Like, what was your favorite band song to play in college while you was at Southern? A song that you just got so excited to play every time y'all played it.
See, I have to go with Mr. Jackson's favorite was I have to go with I Remember. Because just seeing how excited he is when he's conducting it, it makes you get more amped up when you play it. So that, and then I also say as far as ballads, I go with Two Hearts by Mr. Knight.
Yes. Man, that's my favorite band song right there, Two Hearts, man. Like, that song just does something, man. I also remember back in 2012, Mr. J was the band director. I think Southern played Alcorn at Alcorn, and they played that song. Man, it was so funny when Mr. J left the podium.
Oh, I'm here now. I'm here now.
Now, what did you think about that?
Really, really cool. I learned about how you can automate.
I can't hear.
Yeah, Ricky, turn that down real quick. Okay. Yes, from that 2012 game against Alcorn when Mr. J got on the field. Man, what was your first reaction on that, Tory?
I was like, yeah, there go Mr. Jackson right there. Action Jackson. You know, I know the kids loved it because it just makes you get hyped. And then the fans got hyped. Everybody was getting hyped seeing that. So that was I loved seeing it and loved seeing that excitement.
Okay. So, since we're talking about Southern band, man, do you think Southern has ever taken an L in the band or just an L in general?
Of course not. Southern never take L's. And in fact, with Southern, we don't even compare ourselves to other programs. We only compare ourselves to other editions of Southern's band.
Okay. With these comments. Okay, Trent said Underground Showdown in Port Arthur. Okay. Ricky, man, you got something else to add?
Oh no, I'm here for the comments right now. You know, Southern took an L fall 2000 to fam.
Tory, man, would you like to comment?
Oh, that was before my time.
What year you was in the band, Tory?
05.
Huh?
05, 2005.
Yeah, y'all was dangerous that year. Y'all was dangerous.
Yeah, that's when y'all went to Atlanta and y'all played it in Then What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another song Mr. Jackson gets hype on.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, man. So you know, even though with this COVID-19 stuff going on, are you, even excited about this upcoming fall? Whether we even have a band season, are you excited?
Yeah, y'all was dangerous that year. Y'all was dangerous.
Yeah, I think me being middle school, it's probably a little bit easier for me to say, yeah, I'm excited just being able to teach. Because I'm always find a way to teach it, whether it's digital or in person, or if it's 50-50. I'm gonna always find a way to teach band. I know high school directors might feel a little bit differently because they're used to preparing for football games, preparing for Battle of the Bands, and they might not have that experience. So I say, since I'm on middle school, yeah, I'm all right. High school, I can understand why they wouldn't feel like the same way.
Okay. So for anybody that out there that wants to know, what are some of your recruiting methods as far as getting kids to join your band?
First thing is, of course, I saw this topic actually came up on Facebook about the music you play. I know when I was in middle school, we primarily just played straight out the book and played concert music all year round. I think I kind of adapted to where, I'll play some tunes that the kids like to hear on the radio. And, we play at pep rallies, and then I'll take them on these performances. We go to parades. We did Battle of the Bands, and we also do concert band. So they see we're hitting all the different areas of band. So exposing them all those different things makes them enjoy the program a lot more. And then they spread it to their friends. And then their little brothers and sisters see their little brother and sister marching on the parades downtown, or when we took a trip to Biloxi, they got to be on live TV. So the community and their friends and their little brothers and sisters seeing all that makes them want to join the program as well. So it's just about meeting the kids where they are and doing things that they'll enjoy too. Not just making it about yourself, but also doing things that the kids enjoy. That's one way to get recruiting. Also, get your kids to recruit their friends. I mean, they're the best recruiters for you. It's just getting them to help you with their recruiting.
Okay. So have you ever had any students that you lost to the band program, whether it was from sports or, lack of interest, or and what were your methods as far as getting those kids back into the band program?
See, with the middle school and then us being a small middle school, we only have about 200 kids at the school. So, majority of my students are also on the athletic team. So it's kind of a give and take. I understand I'm not going to be able to really have band practice and do events until after football season is over with.
Mhm.
So, you know, working with the coaches and all that, so there is no conflict. That way they're able to do both sports and band. I tell them we're not going to conflict. I know when the season is for football, I know when the season is for basketball. I'll make sure there's no events during those seasons so we don't have that conflict, so you don't have to make a choice. You know, in middle school, you don't have to make that choice of whether to do sports or band. So I don't really have an issue with sports. If I lose students, it's typically due to them transferring to other schools.
Okay.
That's typically mainly how I lose students.
Okay. So what keeps you going every day as far as being a band director? Like what keeps motivating you to want to teach these kids and help them become better musicians and you know get them ready for the high school and college level? Like what keeps you going?
Well, it helps that choosing a career that I really enjoy doing. It doesn't even feel like a job because I love doing it. So it doesn't feel like a job. And you get to see the kids finally they start off not knowing hardly anything about music, and then seeing them eventually where they're coming to you, showing you stuff they found about songs they want to play, and them pulling up bands. Some of them are watching more clips than I was watching. So seeing how much they take to enjoying music is me going as well.
Ricky, man, what are you doing?
I just saw that pop on the screen.
Ricky, man, come on. Man, Mr. Trent Johnson, man, if you're still watching, I would love to get you in for an interview, man. Ricky, man.
Why those guys in Port Arthur giving me a hard time? This the only media pass I kept all year because I like what they doing at Port Arthur. I brag about them when they don't think I'm bragging. Tory, ask D if I'm lying.
Ricky, man, do you have any last words for Mr. Williams?
Man, Tory, I see why I switched over to the dance world and do what I do. With the dance community, make community dance and high school and collegiate dance. But just keep doing what you're doing with your band kids. Keep doing what you're doing and keep producing future musicians at the rate and the level that you're doing, because you're making band kids that are able to go compete with the 10th and 9th graders at 9th and 10th, 11th and 12th grades at other schools. Keep pushing them, keep doing. Make sure they understand education is music and music is education. Without the education, they can't do music. And without music education, they can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, keep pushing, do the great things you're doing. You know, like I say, get with D, give us the size that you'll need, and we're gonna work generally to make sure you have it before school start back for your program.
Right. Definitely appreciate it.
We have one more question for you. Sorry, man. It's coming from Trent. He said, do you allow 6th graders to march in parades and other marching events?
Typically, is my marching groups are usually, the performing group is usually my more experienced 7th and 8th graders. But what I do is I use that as a way to motivate the 6th graders to improve in practice. And I'd be like, hey, I have an open slot for a trumpet player, or I have an open slot for a trombone player. If you can play this and you can reach this part in the book, you know, I'll give you that spot where you can come with us to the parade and march. So I kind of use it as an incentive for 6th graders. So if they're performing at the level that I set for them to play with the group, yeah, I'll allow them to march with it. But they have to meet those goals in order to perform with the group.
Okay. So, man, it's a great interview, man. Do you have any last words? I have one more question for you, man. Just would you like to give any words of encouragement to your band students? Like I said, you know, with all this, you know, COVID going on, you know, all these social issues going on, what's your words of encouragement?
Say, you know, just know we're going to get through this. Stay strong, stay safe, and we'll all be here. You know, I'm going to always be here to help you. You know, I'm here in Baker. You always know they can reach out to me on our Google Classroom or in our Remind app if you ever need anything. And know I'm always here for you.
Okay, man. This has been a great interview, man. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Tory Williams, Baker Middle School head band director from Baker, Louisiana. And yes, like Ricky said, Tory, man, just reach out to us and we would definitely help you, man.
All right, thank you. Definitely appreciate it.
All right. Stay safe, man.
You too.
All right. Rick, what up, fool?
What's happening?
Man, nothing, bro.
You talk to Trent?
Yeah, he gonna do it next week.
Okay. I'm gonna do something right quick. Hold on. I'm gonna invite somebody right quick.
We still live, y'all. Y'all hanging out with us, man. It's Friday night. So y'all can chill with me and Rick, man. Y'all ain't doing nothing else. Talk band talk. Trying to pull up somebody else. Special guest. I'm not gonna tell y'all who it is. Marc. Yeah, Marc, bro. LaTrent, he coming on this weekend. He coming on this weekend. Shout out to Miss Tamika Holiday. I would love
She
to.
on there?
Yeah, she on there. I would love to interview you too. Whenever you free.
Where's she at? Where's she at?
She in the YouTube comments.
I can't see it. Let me get back to it.
Mr. Trent Johnson, man. I would love to interview you as well. Man, shout out to all the band directors that has been participating in these interviews, man. I really appreciate it.
Tamika, where you at, Mika? You at home? I know, I see her. Tell her I'm about to send her a link.
All right. Tamika, we're trying to get you on this Zoom meeting if you're free right now.
Oh, she gonna come.
We can
I got some stuff to ask her.
we can interview her right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, y'all stay tuned, man. We're about to get the head band director from Washington, Marion. She's about to join our live. So y'all stay tuned. Y'all stay tuned, y'all. Shout out to everyone in the comment section. Yeah, but Trent Johnson, man, I definitely want to interview you. We also are looking to interview dance coaches, man. So all the dance coaches out there, we haven't forgot about y'all, female band directors, dance coaches, anybody, you know. Y'all want to be interviewed, let us know. We'll be reaching out to you. Soon, y'all, soon. Thanks to Ricky. Soon we will be interviewing a former college dancer. I'm not gonna tell y'all who. Y'all gotta stay tuned, but trust me, y'all would not want to miss that. So we're trying to get Miss Tamika on. Alex, what's going on, man? Give us a couple of minutes, y'all. Give us a couple of minutes.
I got two things going at one time.
This dude. Hold
on right quick. Yeah, I could talk. I'm just doing a virtual call on my computer.
Okay. Oh, she said she's not free tonight, Rick.
Tell her I say get free.
Tamika, Ricky said get free. Alex, man, when y'all getting started back up, man? Thank y'all for watching these interviews. I really appreciate it. Trying to keep y'all entertained. It's Friday night. It's early. Y'all don't have nothing to do. So we might as well talk band. Kids out here popping.
I want to interview Alex myself.
Shoot,
Tell Alex on.
Alex, are you free right now, man? Ricky want to interview you. Alex Frazier, man, where you at? Get you back in here. Get interviewed by Rick. He got some questions for you. Let me send you the link. The link, Alex. Restore virtually this week. We haven't been clear for in-person rehearsal. Oh, okay. Okay. Alex, man, let me send you this link. All right, give him 5 minutes. All right, no problem. Mark, man, I want to interview you too.
Send him a link too. Put both of them on here.
Mark, Mark, what you doing right now? I'm about to
he
say
ain't doing number putting emojis in the comments.
I'm about to send you and Alex the link.
Hold on, let me get my bottle.
Oh man. Give us a minute, y'all. Send y'all the link.
It's real over here. Got my COVID punch.
And make sure y'all staying safe in this pandemic, man. Wear y'all mask.
You ain't camera shy because you're keyboarding. Don't act like that. Send him a link.
Camera shot. Mark, man, check your Facebook, man. I just sent you the link. Alex said, give him 5 minutes. All right. But still
It's been 5 minutes.
Yeah, man. Make sure y'all wash your hands and all that. Don't be around nobody if you don't have to. Alex, man, I'm sending that link to you right now. Yeah, man. What's going on with y'all, man? What y'all doing? What y'all doing for the weekend? What y'all doing for the weekend? Alex, man, I just sent you the link. All right, y'all, we about to get band director Alex Frazier, Memorial High School. He's about to join. Interview number 2. This time, my co-host Ricky will be interviewing. Waiting on him momentarily. He will be joining. Let me see. Did he get the link? Yeah, he got the link. All right. Just give him a couple of minutes to join. Maybe I should send this one. All right, let me resend the link. I don't think he got it. Let me see. Give us a minute, y'all. We're working on it.
I'm not going to.
Waiting for Mr. Alex Frazier to come in. I'm gonna talk some band talk for y'all tonight, man. So comment section, man. Y'all have any questions? Anything y'all want to talk about? Any topics? Any band related things y'all want to talk about? Y'all want to get off y'all chest?
Yeah, they might dog me, so I'm here for it. I'm here for it. D, you got to, man, this. You got to come get some of this.
1800.
What?
1800 to get you right, bro.
Man, I got bottles of it.
Ooh,
Bottles.
man.
I'm waiting for the alcohol plug to pull up now.
Hey, bro. I've been drinking wine lately, bro.
Man, I ain't drinking no damn wine. I ain't no wine sip.
All right, y'all. Here we go. We got Alex about to come in, and Mark.
What's going on? Y'all have to excuse my Friday night look. I don't look good at all. How y'all
Man,
been?
Ain't no problem, man. Shoot, we all going through it right now. Mark, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? Can y'all hear me good?
Yeah.
oh Lord, the devil is in the building.
You asked for me. Yeah.
What's up, fellas?
What's going
Hey,
on?
put it to where both of them could be on the D. Oh, there you go. I see him. First of all, man, y'all know I talk my trash talk. And
It's all love, Ricky.
huh?
It is all love, Ricky. We know.
I already know that. But listen, man, let me tell y'all something. To the band world, I don't care if it's the city of New Orleans, Memphis, Houston, Atlanta, Baton Rouge, Shreveport, Monroe, Jackson, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Dallas. Y'all got to give these two guys a hand clap for having one of the most disciplined, structurally sound, most comprehensive music program year in, year out. It was from Trent, Nines to Alex being Trent assistant to now Alex the band director with Marc Ward. So y'all, I talk crazy and do all that, but y'all guys does a phenomenal job. Listen, y'all, I enjoy myself so much at the Battle Band. I still have my media pass.
Yep, me too.
You know, my media pass sitting in the front room. Y'all can see me?
Yeah, we see.
All right, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's gonna be an A and B question for both y'all. Alex, what made you make the phone call to get Marc Ward to be your assistant? And Mark, how did you feel about getting that phone call to relocate from Houston to Beaumont to be the assistant director?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, when you looking for somebody to work with, you want to work with people that what they bring to the table. You definitely want to work with people that can do all the jobs, and more than anything, you want to work with somebody that you get along with, and that's gonna have your back, and that you can have their back, and that you're gonna work well together. And a lot of y'all may not even know it's another part to our team. So I hate to leave him out, Larry Oliver, who is the third head of the monster. But
with the long hair?
Yeah, with the dreadlocks.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
So
yeah,
that's an important part, when you see a band, and I'm very adamant about this. I am not one to try to hog limelight or anything like that, because it's not a one-man job. It takes the collective effort of everybody. Could any one of us do the job and probably have some kind of measure of success by themselves? Probably. But working together definitely makes it better. So in terms of getting Marc, when you trying to working with a high school band is you get put in situations where you working long hours. You having to travel with these people on a weekly basis. And I can't speak for everybody, but where we travel to every football game. Our district, every away game is about 2 hours. And so we have very long weeks. We do a lot of competitions on Saturdays. And so, you want to have people around you that can not only handle the tasks that you need them to handle, but also, they can take some heat when I've been in Port Arthur now. This will be year 11. There are expectations, and Uh, Sometimes there's pressure from a lot of our community leaders and school leaders and things like that. And, you know, for me personally, I just couldn't have somebody around me who could fold easy. So it was very important that I had somebody around me who could do the work. Everybody know Marc, a great band director, outrageous band director. But one of the things me and Trent kind of talked about when we were getting ready to go into this transition was, and this is not trying to, you know, pump my own chest, but he said, you know, what you're really looking for in your replacement is somebody who can kind of fill the role that you feel, which is you want somebody who could basically be a second band director when you're not there, a second and third band director when you're not around. Somebody where if you got to leave the band for whatever reason, you know, not a beat is going to be missed. Somebody who have all the same, you know, professional acumen, who could do everything that you could do. So for me, you know, it wasn't even really a question. It was an easy choice. We just kind of had to work on trying to convince them to give us a shot, and luckily it worked out.
Okay, Marc, your turn.
What was my part of the question?
How did it feel for you to receive the call to step back up into the high school rankings to be an assistant director and part of the memorial for Mr. Alex?
Oh, it was very exciting. I was looking forward to getting back into high school after doing 2 years in middle school. Then having that opportunity to come up again in Port Arthur, it was really a blessing. I felt like it was, you know, it's finally my time to go there. I was very excited about the concert band. That was one thing I was really looking forward to. I hate that it got cut short this year because, you know, a lot of work, a lot of focus goes into that concert band. You know, we had a lot of goals set this year, especially I was really looking forward to taking our kids to state for solo and ensemble. We had a lot of kids that qualified for that, and I was really looking forward to the Austin trip that we were taking about a month ago. So there were so many things I was looking to achieve. I was definitely excited finally have that opportunity come back up. So I mean, it's been a fun part of the year that we had. You know, the for what we did have over a year. Then with COVID and things happening.
Okay.
Question in the comments. Somebody said, what battles are you all looking forward to this year? If we have a year.
Well, I guess it's on me. Man, you know, kind of worrying about Battle of the Bands at this part for me is honestly just kind of putting the cart before the horse. I hope that happens, but right now, you know, my fight is can we have band practice in person safely at the school? Just this past week, they had to shut down all athletics because they had a kid that tested positive for COVID. And so that's the big fight right now. You know, we're kind of dealing with this age of kind of getting ready for a new normal, at least for a little while. Mm-hmm. And so really for me, that's the biggest thing that I think that we're really trying to work on is how can we still keep kids interested? How can we keep them engaged? How can we keep them from getting discouraged? Do I hope we get to do a Battle of the Bands? And if we did, obviously I would love to go and compete at Cedar Hill. We were supposed to do that one this past year. And we actually got hit with like a tropical storm that kept us from traveling there.
I remember that.
Yeah, I would love to get out there. I always love coming to Louisiana and Baton Rouge. You know, Baton Rouge is my second home from when I was in school there. I'd love to get out even further than that and start trying to hit some other places beyond those two states. So hopefully when this is all over, you know, we can kind of get back to business as usual.
Okay.
A question for Marc and well, for both of y'all together, because y'all assisting the head. If you listen to Port Arthur Band this past year, they only played arrangements that come from y'all, handwritten to fit the band. How do you choose the repertoire for your marching band ensemble? What type of things do y'all look for in certain songs to say, this will fit us, this won't fit us, this will have us you know, this fit our style, and this won't fit our style. Because like when y'all played it in the gym at the school from Dallas at the battle band. Woo-doo-doo.
You throw it out.
Yeah, when Alex was doing this here, you know, Alex was grooving and moving. Like a lot of bands didn't sound good playing it because they played other ensemble arrangement. You get what I'm saying? Y'all played what fits Memorial. How do y'all choose on a day, week in and week out fits that program? And how do y'all go about writing for that ensemble?
Ward, you go ahead and start that one off.
All right. I can't say that my writing style changed a little bit when I got to PA. One of the things I noticed is that, you know, whenever I wrote music, especially let's say it was like a pop tune or a rap tune, you know, I wrote like the music part. I wrote the beat. What I noticed a lot of what they were doing, especially Mr. Oliver, they wrote the lyrics. So I started implementing the lyrics into my arrangements. I wasn't always writing the lyrics. I was writing the beat. So, you know, imagine hearing that song without the singer or the rapper over it. So I started writing the lyrics into my beats because, you know, some of these rappers today, they're rapping with the melody. A lot of them are triple figures. So a lot of that kind of changed the music. So I made adjustments to fit the style. You know, I brought my own style, but I wanted to make sure I wasn't doing anything out the box. I wasn't taking away from the program. I was being an asset to the program when it came to arranging. As far as looking for music, I always try to look for something. What's hot now? You know, what's current. I love playing New Jack Swing style music, anything that has a melody, a chorus, a counter melody, and I love a bridge. Something with a good bridge in it. Oh yeah, man. Anything when you hear it and you start doing this, I'm probably going to write it. You know, I'm probably going to write it and stand within the range of the band, but not stand in the safe zone. I don't, you know, I'm not going to stay in the safe haven. I'm not going to do anything outrageous in the music as far as arranging, but I'm going to put it at a level where my kids can play it, but not be pacified by the music. It will make them grow, but it will not be something. I'm not ranging for no super band or these fantasy bands that you only going to hear your music being executed on finale. You know, it has to be playable by the kids, but it cannot pacify at the same time, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I guess for me to answer that, really in terms of choosing songs, it's always a mixture of what I like and then what the kids like. We always ask the kids to kind of give us a list every summer of, you know, what would you like to play? It's always a couple of jewels in there. There's always a couple in there that are hit. And, you know, you hear them right off and say, oh, man, I like that. Other stuff you say, oh, Lord, what these children listening to? In terms of like what I like, what I personally really like to do is to arrange stuff that I just kind of feel like I hadn't heard before. I like to find things, and it's mainly for like when I do drills or I do show openings. I like to find stuff that I know or I feel like nobody else is listening to. Like I think this year I did a fanfare to Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and the original Judy Garland version. You know, I just kind of like doing stuff like that. Another year I did a show tune from Moulin Rouge called Nature Boy. And I use like 3 different versions of Nature Boy to do that. I mean, I just kind of like doing stuff like that. In terms of what I'm writing for the band, you know, you got to arrange for your ensemble. And so, you know, Southern is my alma mater. I love Southern. There are some things that we could play that Southern play, but I'd probably say the vast majority of stuff that Southern play, you know, we can't play. Or it's not even so much that the kids don't necessarily have the technical ability, but for what's being asked of that arrangement, it doesn't meet, you know, we don't have what's really needed for that, whether that be the instrumentation, whether that be the skill. I think a lot of times people think about skill. But, you know, if you're playing a song that's written in mind for, you know, 40 trombones and you got 8, you know, it's just not going to hit the same. Mm-hmm. So it's not to say that your trombone players can't play that, but that part may be lost in the mix that whereas with Southern trombones, that's not necessarily going to happen. So for me, when I'm really trying to write for the band, it's not trying to write to make them sound like a collegiate band, because they're not a collegiate band. I want them to sound like the best representation of a high school band that we can, possibly sound like. And personally, I try to keep things dark, try to keep the color of the sounds dark. So I may put tuba parts up, but that's normally for an effect, and they're gonna come back down. I pretty much don't put no trombone parts above no G because it gets bright. I may put the baritones up for a part, but they're not gonna play up there the whole time. I just personally believe in trying to keep things dark. I think that's kind of just where you get your best, your fattest sound. That's where you kind of get that wall coming at you. So that's what I try to do.
All right. I got this arrangement I'm gonna play on finale. And I want y'all to dissect this. Tell me if y'all can tell me this person writing style. Tell me if y'all can.
That's a fee for that, man. I charge for consulting.
Y'all can hear that? Yeah, it's gonna jump to the Dakota now. Alex, you go first.
Okay. So what's the question again?
Who you think composed that?
I don't know, but it wasn't Mr. Knighton. If I'm being honest, it sounded like somebody trying to do maybe what they maybe trying to do an arrangement of an arrangement. So it doesn't sound bad. Obviously, I can't see it. So one thing I always say about finale make everything sound good. So I don't necessarily have a criticism. The only thing I would say about doing an arrangement of an arrangement, one thing I think I had to learn as an arranger is to kind of try to be authentically you. And I know that too, because I used to try to arrange stuff the way I thought Mr. Knighton or Mr. Jackson would arrange it, because those were my teachers. That's who I learned from. But at the end of the day, I'm not Mr. Knighton, and that's not uncommon, man. That's what it sounded like to me. Somebody trying to write like Mr. Knighton, and so I would just kind of tell that person, you definitely can't go wrong from trying to maybe study his scores and learn, but that's always kind of a dicey thing, personally, to try and make an arrangement with somebody else's arrangement.
Well, I'm gonna say this. When I studied this arrangement, this is the first arrangement of this song I got. And this arrangement, you might think it's like Southern, but it's not. It got its own groove. I got Southern arrangement too. It got its own groove. It's got its own structure. You know what I'm saying? And I would have thought my friend would have picked up on it.
Sound like mine.
It is. Hey, That was Marc's first song he sent me when I was at Washington, Mary, and I called him for an arrangement. He sent me that. And you know, a lot of people, and I'm glad Alex said that, Marc. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people be like, "Oh, Marc wrote that off Southern." He trying to be like, no, he wasn't. I feel people, it might have a Southern twist to it, but you wrote it for your ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying, Alex? He wrote it for Donaldsonville, that small band. That's what he wrote it for.
I wrote that for East St. John, actually.
Oh, East St. John?
Okay.
Yeah.
So now watch this. A lot of people are looking at that arrangement. Oh, he want to be like Knight and he want to be like Southern. No, he don't. He wrote a song that he liked that Knight wrote to fit his style of band. And if more composers did that, they band had their own identity. Like the things that, like, I like what y'all, like the combination that I saw with you guys this year, especially at Donaldsonville, y'all compensate each other.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, you could walk off. Marc is still a director. When you come back, Marc is still a director. You know, everybody on the same page. It ain't no button heads. Nobody collide. You know, that's the thing. That's what I applaud about what y'all two guys going on. Y'all never heard me say that. Like I tell, when me and Marc had that talk at y'all battle band, Alex, we didn't have that talk. Marc, what did I tell you? I say, Marc, I love what y'all doing. How often, Marc, you hear me say some stuff like that?
Most definitely. I don't know anybody who have a love for band like Ricky.
Right.
Hey, and I'm gonna explain to you, Alex, Marc. People say I have a level, like Marc just said, a level of me. I feel like this. People don't talk band programs that are struggling year in and year out. But when the college band makes mistakes, musicianship across the board, it's appreciated. You get what I'm saying? Like J-State made that mess up on Father I Stretch My Hands to These. They fans were saying, oh, they came back and redeemed it. Being the sonic boom. When Southern make mistakes on musicianship, field shows, as being a summa cum laude band, being the human jukebox, you cannot have errors that these high school kids gonna think is good to make. You get what I'm saying? So I try to judge everybody on the same level. Musicianship. Let me hear the work coming through. Let me hear your works coming through your kids' horns and not through your ego. You know what I'm saying? Some people have big egos and less product. You guys are humble with a big product.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I see y'all too, when I see Memorial, I see a Wilbur Rawlins and I see Eric French. Two humble guys with good programs. You know what I'm saying? You know, you get around. I never heard Alex say Alex battling some, like when Alex was battling that band in the gym from Dallas. Dude, first year program up there. I never heard Alex or even Marc say, why even we blowing at this trash ass band or this sad band? Y'all gave the man kids what they wanted, a battle. But you got some people say, I wouldn't waste my time battling that school. You don't know how much those kids want to battle your program to go to the next level. Will help that program. You get what I'm saying? You know, everybody can't battle Mike Tyson, but you got to give it a shot. You know, and the things that you guys have in place, man, keep up the good work, you know. And you know, eventually I'm gonna have it in my budget if y'all need something. And when COVID come, Marc and Alex, when COVID-19 ends, I never been to Texas with my dance competitions. I want to come to Texas and I would give y'all 30% of the dough in full concession for a one-day event held at y'all school. I do all the flyer, all the promotion, get all the teams, and that'll be in a contract. I know y'all need money to travel. I'll come do that for y'all.
Come on, doctor. Let me say one thing about what you said. So no band wants to have mistakes. No band want to have mistakes. The only thing I'll say about making mistakes is there's some truth to what you said, but there's some amendments I make to that. We make public product. We make a product for public consumption, right? And so because of that, We have to also understand sometimes with that comes criticism, good, bad, or otherwise. Now, what I would say is that sometimes fans or band heads in particular can be overly critical. They can be critical in a way that's not helpful, where instead of trying to build up, it's tearing down. So, I mean, if that's what you're talking about, I definitely agree. That's always an issue. To me, you can't judge though a high school band versus a collegiate band. You cannot, in other words, you can't look at those in the same way just because they are fighting different fights, right?
Yeah.
With a collegiate band, to some degree, it's a paid product. Now, some people got a bigger budget than others. Some people have better pipelines to that product than others, right? So a smaller school may not be able to get the same kind of recruits as a Southern. A Southern might, or Jackson State, or one of these other big schools, or FAMU, might be getting the section leaders from all the bands, right? And another school might have to, settle for that third or fourth kid down the line. But at the same time, you are to some degree getting what you need to make that product work. At the high school level, you got to make it happen with what's around you, right? Ain't no recruiting from and I'll just give you like an example from where we are. There are no other high schools, but that means that we have to try to make the most out of everything that we got just in Port Arthur. And so we have to try and make that work as efficiently as possible. And criticism still coming, we mess up. I mean, like I said, I've been here 11 years. I done been on the end of some harsh criticism. Some of it from people I grew up with, about how the band might have looked or sounded at one particular time. But I would say, I don't think that you can necessarily make those two things equal between a high school band and a college band, because you're really dealing with different variables. It's so different. But I will say, just in general, man, criticism, needs to be constructive. If you're a band director and you're listening, some criticism you need to not be worried about, because you got people taking shots who never built nothing. So I've kind of learned how to do that over time. But some criticism is warranted, and you don't want to let that roll off. Sometimes you learn. That's where you get your best learning moments from, is making those mistakes and then recovering.
Okay, we have some questions in the comments. We have some of y'all band students. We have CJ, Braylon. So one question is, what steps do you take to build a winning band culture?
Mark, you want to start that one?
Yeah. One thing you can start off with, setting expectations, being consistent, creating discipline, creating a good culture, having a good rapport with your administration, your students, having a solid foundation. It's tough to have a winning program when you're having to start over every year. And if you look at the Baton Rouge band scene, one of the things that we're blessed with out in Port Arthur is that band programs start at the 5th grade. So students get that foundation. You're not trying to go out in the hallways and find kids every year, trying to teach them from start, especially on a brass instrument. It takes at least 2 to 3 years to really mature on a brass instrument. So by the time a student reaches their senior year, that's when they finally where you want them to be, their 9th grade year. So we can get them kids coming in, and all you have to do is groom them, make them better musicians. Then, you have a better chance, a better opportunity of being successful at a band program, And aside from those things, just being honest with yourself, being consistent, being organized, one of the things that I learned to do, especially being at the middle school level, you have to be patient. At the end of the day, I always ask myself, did I do what was necessary to put those kids in the best position to be successful? I'm always asking myself that. We never want to shortchange those kids. We not taking no days off. Ain't no movie day. Ain't no chill day. Y'all just sit back and relax day. No, every day is a work day. We don't have a second to waste. Because while you waste a second, somebody out there is getting better. So that's always a concern of mine. Did I use my time wisely today? That's something I could have done better. So if you sit back and you reflect and self-evaluate, that's how you can become a better program. And a lot of it is being honest with yourself. Did you do what was necessary? And did you make sure that those kids had the opportunity to learn? And did you fulfill their needs as a musician in your band?
Okay.
Okay.
Can you repeat that question for me one more time, D?
Yeah, they said, what steps do you take as far as building a winning band culture?
Well, look, I really think Mark, hit most of it on the head. What
The sipping Marc.
one thing he said, about being patient, and I think I might have said something to this effect when I interviewed with you the first time. Everybody, it is nobody who go through all the steps of trying to, obtain a degree, get certified, get a band program. Nobody wants their band to be bad, right? Everybody wants to have a good band. But patience is such a big thing because it's so many people, they leave before they ever see anything grow from that place that they're in. When they feel like they in a situation where things not working the way they want it to work, as fast as they want it to work, they get discouraged, they get frustrated, and you got to outwork the work sometimes. And a lot of it is, just to be honest, it's just kind of busting your ass a lot of time. And it's just being willing to put in time that you're not getting paid for, spend money that you shouldn't have to be spending, spending time that you really would rather be with your family and rather be kind of relaxing on your own. And those things, ultimately kind of will spring into different methods to build your band program. A successful band program, I tell people this all the time. And I think Trent might still be on here, but I think Trent was at Memorial maybe like 4 years before me. And then we worked together for 9 years. 8 years. Wow. 8 years. Worked together for 8 years. And those first probably 2 years, 3 years that we worked together, it was kind of rough, especially that first year. Band was smaller. We probably had, 60 kids all together. And so a big part of that is if you working with people, you got to have a vision, a shared vision in terms of the people that's working together. So for who asked that question, that's a big part of it. Do you and the people that you work with, are y'all fighting for the same stuff? Or do you got something that you want from the band and he got something he wants from the band and y'all going about it two different ways? Are y'all all on the same page as far as y'all grind? That's a huge part of it. I'm staying till 8 o'clock and you leaving at 6:30. You start having feelings, where you may not be gelling the way you need to gel, right? It might be some trust that need to be there that's not being built. So that's another big part of it. Are you challenging yourself? I think, Mark, you said something along the lines of, are you being real with yourself? And that's another big part of it. And I think that's a part that hurt us a lot of time as, just to be honest, as Black and minority band directors, is that we so defensive about criticism that we can't take criticism. And that's why I say all criticism not good. Some people criticize to tear down, and that's not helpful. But when you have somebody who, has maybe been to places that you want to be, they didn't reach levels that you want to reach, and they give you honest criticism about how you could be better. And man, I don't want to hear what he's saying. He's not talking about nothing. Then right there, you already kind of cutting off your ability to grow. And that's a hard thing to do, man. That first year, like Mark talking about coming for a concert band, the Trent on here, he could tell you the first year we went to concert band festival, it's like we was hoping to get a 3. And we did. And part of that was inviting people into the band hall and like letting them, I don't want to say tear us up, but really kind of like, hey, this ain't right, that ain't right. You got to fix this, you got to fix that. And kind of having to have a notepad, kind of like I got right here, and writing on it and saying, I got to fix this, I got to fix that, I got to fix this. And being willing to kind of grow from that. So I think those are big things. Are you willing to work? Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to grow from mistakes? and not keep making the same mistakes, not make excuses. And I'm gonna just be real. It's a lot of that goes on. Make excuses. And, for me, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this. All those things might be true, but at the same time, that's your cross to bear now. So is that just going to continue to be why you're not trying? Or are you going to say, I don't have this, so what can I do to fix that? I don't have the instruments I need, so how do I get instruments? And you got guys that's great examples of that. In Javon and like Iron, I don't have this, so how do I get it? Right? Instead of just saying, I don't have it, so I can't do. And so I think that's very important. And that's, for anybody who want to be a band director, wherever you go, you're going to have challenges. I think people always think of money as being the big thing, and it's a huge help. I don't want to lie to you, but that won't fix everything. A lot of time, if your school district got money, that means you got some other problems attached to that money that other people not even, they don't even be concerned about. We ain't got it like you think we do.
Y'all make it look like that.
Yeah, we ain't got it like Mark. You want to tell them what our budget was this year?
I know it was cut in half.
Yeah,
from the previous year.
Yeah, it was
crazy.
All right,
in half.
I got now that Alex, you touched on concert. Everybody could talk about marching band. Everybody can't really touch the circuit of concert band. How would you design a typical high school band concert program? How many selections would be programmed, and what kind of pieces would you choose and why?
You want to start, or you want me to start?
I can go. That's actually a simple question, Ricky. Especially whenever you're preparing for your concert band festival, they have what's called the PML, preferred music list, prescribed music list, and you can just go in and you pick something off of it. You pick some selections, the classification of your band program. So, it's categorized. You pick something off of it. And then, if you're doing something for your campus, you can add to that some selection that you might like or that the kids may find fun to perform. So, it's really not complicated. They give you the list, so you just go pick from it. It's just like going grocery shopping. You just pick what you want.
Okay.
Yeah. To add to that, one thing that's really important, like Marc said, you grocery shopping, you got to make sure you don't get big-eyed and bite off more than you could chew. And I think a lot of time, young band directors, that's an issue. I know I've made that mistake as a younger band director. You fall in love with a piece of music that you think is beautiful, but you may not necessarily be putting your band in the best position to be successful. And so when you want to choose music, you want to choose music that is going to go towards the strength of your ensemble and is not going to expose weaknesses. I think I had this conversation with somebody maybe a week or two ago. You don't want to expose the weaknesses of your ensemble. So in other words, if I know my trombone's great, my concert euphonium is great, my concert tuba players and flute players are great, but I got a struggling French horn section, this year, just hypothetically. I don't want to pick American Overture for band that got a big French horn opener, because now I'm sacrificing the success of the whole group because I put this one section in a position to not be successful. So, with that, and then I also say with your concert band, you got to try to, it's twofold. You gotta pick music that you can be successful with right now. So in other words, if you getting ready for contests, you want to pick songs that you feel like you can be successful with contests right now, while at the same time you want to have some other pieces in there that are going to push you forward a little bit going into the next year. So my goal when I was still the assistant was that I always wanted to pick one or two pieces that I felt like were maybe a little bit beyond where we were, not where we couldn't be successful. We would have those concert pieces and Trent would do the concert pieces that were going to be for contests. And I would pick one or two songs that were a little bit harder. And that was for two reasons. That was to challenge the kids, but to be honest, it was also to challenge me. So that when I got to a position to be able to, having to be in that seat, I wouldn't be like, oh, well, this grade, 3.5 piece or 4 is hurting me. because I hadn't had to deal with that. Where now I could say, well, no, I did the 4.5, I did a 5. So we did stuff like that. We did like Rest by Frank Kelly one year, which is like a 4.5. We did Elsa's Procession to the Cathedral. I did that maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, which is definitely a 5. And sometimes you're most successful, sometimes you're not as successful, which is not as successful as you want to be with your execution. But when you pick songs like that, that's really to kind of you're looking forward, right? So you kind of want both at the same time. You want to have some pieces that you can be successful with right then, and that's important, because if your band, I say this all the time, if you're giving your band music that they cannot be successful with, you're kind of hurting them for the future, because all they're gonna have is that memory of like, oh, we don't sound good, right? So you want to have pieces that they can be successful at executing it, but you also want to have some stuff to kind of get you, push you forward going into the next year.
What, if any, rhythm or tonal syllable system do you use in your teaching?
Mark, you want to start that?
Yeah, I stick with what I was taught. I see directors, they come up with their own methods, and that's what works for the program. That's best. I like to stay with the traditional 1 eanda, 2 eanda. I want kids to be able to read and count rhythms. I want them to be able to understand the language that I'm going to speak. I want them, if they're going to go and be in a college band, that they're going to have something that's traditional. I don't want them going up there and saying hamburger, taco, French fries, or whatever. So I want them to be able to. Now, if that's what works and that's what they need, yes. But I want them to be able to have something that they can take, and I don't want them to be sitting in the college band room and the band director or professors asking, "Who was your band director?" Marc Ward, Frazier, Larry Oliver. They taught you to say pineapple cheeseburger. Yes, sir. I don't want to embarrass that kid or the program. So I stick with how I was taught. 1 eanda, 2 eanda, 3 eanda, 4. And that's the way. That's just the way I do it. My preference.
And that's important. You want to reach kids where they are. So in other words, you gotta, especially like younger band students. Apple, hot dog, cherry pie might be the way to get them interested. But at some point, you need to make a transition to make sure that they understand the way they're going to be asked to count if they would ever progress beyond your band. And that's important. You got to be, again, you always want to be looking towards the future with how you're teaching. So you don't want to be teaching in a way where they walk out of your band hall and then they listen to somebody else teach and they can't comprehend what's being said, right? At that point, then you basically just the Lord of the Flies. Everybody in your band hall might feel like you're doing something that's superior, but when they step outside of your band hall, they're gonna feel inferior. You don't want that. As far as like if it's stuff that I like personally, I think everybody should do what makes them comfortable, how they teach best. One thing that's important to me, in terms of teaching rhythms early, and it's a pet peeve for me. So if anybody don't disagree, that's fine. I've been saying for years, and this is just me personally, that people teach rhythm reading a lot of the time wrong, which is they tell a kid quarter note get 1 beat, half note get 1 beat, whole note get 4 beats. And it's right, but it's wrong. That's right as long as the bottom number in your time signature is 4. And so what happens is with kids a lot of time when they get to high school and sometimes even with college, and I know this because I was that kid. I learned that way, and it was something I had to break down and unlearn. Then they have to go back and learn, well, no, this does not always apply that way. So it's very important that, you kind of teach kids the right way by how to do that.
I want to add something real quick. It also has to go back with arranging music. A lot of times why band directors are having trouble teaching rhythm is because the way that they may have arranged the music. The kids need to be able to read the music. They need to be able to see where each beat falls in the measure. A lot of times, I look at some arrangement. It sounds great on finale, yes, the rhythm is correct, but the way that it is notated, the rhythmic notation of it, it makes it difficult for the kids to read, especially when you see like syncopated rhythm. So you look at some music and you're looking at double dotted quarter notes. It's because, you know, that arranger may have played it on the keyboard. It came out correct. It came out sounding right, but it aesthetically and the rhythmic notation, it made it difficult for that student to read. So now you're having trouble. You're working hard, trying to teach piece of music because you didn't go back and take the time to make that piece readable, you know, and it could be a simple rhythm that, and you put more work on yourself. So like, go back and take the time, man. One of the most important things I remember, 2011, I was in a battle of bands, and Nathan Hamer was one of the adjudicators, and I remember the comment said, "Attention to detail." You know, that was 9 years ago. I'll never forget that. So I make sure I pay attention to what I'm doing. You know, so whenever you're arranging arrangers out there, take the time. You know, look at those rhythms and ask yourself, can you play that? Can my kids read this?
Improper notation. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Boy,
Yeah.
you just
Mike told me
you
up
just
about
said something about the music Bible.
improper notation. Yeah.
And you know, as far as you know, with marching band, we already know it's gonna be flutes, clarinet, saxophone, tubas, trumpets, F-horn, baritone. How do you guys structure your concert band different from your marching band? Like when you have certain players that might play trumpet real good, do you think because he have a nice color tone, dark rich tone, do you think that student could be put on F-horn? And what are your determining factors to switch like a clarinet, saxophone to oboe, to become an oboist or bassoon player in your concert band, in the structure of your seating or the power of your playing ability for your kids? How do y'all fit that into your concert band?
Well, what I would say is normally 9 times out of 10 for a concert band, as much as possible, I don't want to switch people from one instrument family to another. Mainly just because they spend all this time throughout the whole year playing one thing, and now I'm asking them to go and fulfill a whole different role that they hadn't been doing. Not obviously, it's sometimes challenging, like say French horn players who've been playing a mellophone for the last 4 or 5 months, and now they got to pick up concert French horn, a double horn. That's just a matter of, you know, taking time during class every day to make sure that they understand, you know, the proper technique of what they're doing. As far as like trying to choose kids who are going to play like oboe, bassoon, you know, double reeded instruments. I think 2 big things that's important is how that, if that student, if they're going to play oboe, especially, they need to have a good ear. They need to have a very strong sense of pitch, because if they don't, you're going to have hell with that oboe. Oboe is like one of the most pitchy instruments that you can play, and it's very hard to play. And then beyond that, it needs to be a kid that is dedicated. Generally, for me, with kids who want to play a different instrument, it needs to be a kid that I just know has a level of integrity where I know if you give them that challenge to learn how to play this instrument. So if it's a piccolo, if it's a flute piccolo player that's trying to learn how to play oboe, one, they need to be, you know, funny. Yes, they need to have good pitch, but also I need to know that they got the kind of attitude where they're gonna put that time in.
This what I want
to really, really learn how to play the instrument. Like one of our baritone section leaders, and I don't know if he on here or not, but he played flute and piccolo, and as a 9th grader went to state as a flute piccolo player, and just for whatever reasons, you know, he wanted to take on the challenge of learning how to play the baritone, and this is more, I guess, not really with your question, but just in general, you know, we made the decision to kind of let him try that just because we knew he was the type of kid where he was going to put that time in, and you weren't going to have to, you know, jump on him about practicing. He was going to do it because he liked it that much. So that's important. They need to kind of just have a
work
internal
ethic.
Drive, right? They need to
like a work ethic,
right? That needs to kind of just be something that you don't really have to question.
Okay, Mark, man, we have a question for you. They say, is it a big difference between Texas high schools and Louisiana high schools?
foundation. Louisiana High School, shout out to Javon Pollard. He has teaching in the trenches. And in Louisiana, we really got to get it out of the mud. When you look at a lot of the traditional style schools or schools that are heavily populated by blacks or minorities, or you looking at your 90 schools that are in poverty, we are really trying to make something out of nothing, and that's like a yearly struggle for band directors in Louisiana. Like, there's a big gap. I worked in a Central Parish school. There is a huge gap when you look at Dutchtown, Santa Mara, East Ascension versus Donaldsonville. There's a huge gap in talent, funding, skill level. Those kids are going to private lessons. And even out here, we look at a neighboring school district like Nederland. All those kids are going to private lessons to be in the top band. But coming from Louisiana to Texas, that was one of the biggest differences, just having foundation at the lower level. I taught high school band for 6 years in Louisiana, and I never had a consistent feeder program. My first time even having a middle school band is when I got to Donaldsonville. I remember one year I only got two students from the middle school. So that's really, you can't consider that as a feeder program. So you're trying to take what you got and make something out of nothing every year. That was the difference. According to Texas, it's just having foundation.
Okay.
Also, I'm glad you touched on that, Marc, private lesson. Discuss the role of private instructions for students outside of band that help fit a band program. How important is that?
That's for me.
You and Alex.
All right. All right. So I like to think of Kobe Bryant. I like to think of Michael Jordan. They were all stars on their team. You're talking about two GOATs in basketball. They did what they had to do in practice. They worked on those skills that they needed to work on in practice. But when practice was over, where are they going? They're going to the free throw line. They're going to sharpen their skills. They're going to do those things individually to get better because they know what they were lacking, either that day in practice or what they're lacking in the game. So when you go into private lessons, you're going to, like, again, I'm going to reference what Nathan Hamer said, attention to detail. They'll find things that you need to focus on that's going to make you better and then, help you contribute to your band program. When you're directing a band or you can rehearse in a band, you're standing in front of, let's say, in a concert band, setting 50, 60 people. There are going to be some things that you cannot waste band rehearsal time to focus on. Like if a student is coming up flat or having trouble hitting the pitch, I'm not about to sit there and waste the entire band practice to help that student work on flexibility or tuning. That's some things that you need to work on individually. So you need to go to your private instructor and get some tips. Now I might shoot you a few nuggets. Hey, you need to work on this, but we can't do that during rehearsal. That is called rehearsal. It's not band practice. It is rehearsal, practice at home. I can show you the way. Hey, you need to go work on these few things. Go look at this in the book, but we can't do that during rehearsal. So that's the benefits of private lessons. Having those students coming back sharp.
Let me piggyback off what Mr. Ward just said. Like, he used Mike and Kobe as a example. So it's like the things that made them great were that they had a internal drive to get better, right? The way I think of a private instructor is the internal drive has to be the biggest determining factor on their success. But it don't hurt to have a nutritionist, a strength and conditioning coach, right? A therapist, a physical therapist. And to me, that's kind of what you're talking about when you start jumping into that realm of kids having private instruction. If you got a kid that got a private instructor and they not dedicated to get better on their own, then the levels that they reach or the gains that they're gonna have still gonna be marginal. It's not gonna be but so much. But when you got a kid that's already kind of dedicated on their own, and then they have instruction that's strictly going to them about their instrument, there is going to be gains that they would not get on their own, just because you have somebody targeting things that they don't know to target, right? So you got a kid that's practicing, but maybe they don't know how to practice or what to practice on or how to break down, you know, what's the most important thing for them to practice on. What's this? And when you start getting into this stuff with different instruments and these nuances, small little nuances about the horn in particular, that well gets deep, you know. And it's one thing for me, like I play the saxophone. So I've been playing saxophone since I was 8 years old. It's some stuff I know from playing the saxophone, from playing that long, that the average high school student just not gonna know. Like I could play my B flat 3 different ways, but what time do I use which B flat fingering? Right? When do I want to go 1 and 1? When do I want to go 1 in the bass key? When do I want to go 1 in my bass key on my right hand? What's the pluses and minuses of all those? That's kind of what you're dealing with a private instructor. They're gonna say, hey, your B flat 1 and 1 is more in tune, but it's slower. Your B flat 1 in the bass key is much faster, but it's not as in tune. So you don't want to play that on a slow piece. You know, it's all those little things. And like Mark said, we got some surrounding schools where they might have 3 concert bands, and the top concert band, that's a requirement. Like you can't even get in that concert band if you don't have private lessons. But even with that, I still say you could still have a successful band program, because the number one thing that's going to determine the kid's success is, are they dedicated? You know, are they hungry? Because if I'm trying to feed you, but you don't want to eat, you're not going to grow anyway. So it's important, but it's definitely not the end all be all.
And you know, this I guess I know I didn't ask y'all a lot of different types of questions, and I'm loving the knowledge that you guys are giving. But as directors, what is the ideal instrumentation for a concert? High school band, marching band, wind ensemble, and jazz ensemble. When you look at each ensemble alone itself, how do you determine how many of instruments that you feel to fulfill your goal that you're trying to get, your maximum goal that you're trying to get out that ensemble? How do you set it up?
Another easy question, Ricky. When you get this concert literature, when you look at that front page, it gives you the instrumentation. It gives you how many people need to be on per instrument. Now, here's one of the things, just like when you asked earlier, how do you pick? You know, you listening for what fits best for your ensemble. So, I mean, when I was at Donaldsonville, you know, I had a small woodwind section. I had 1 flute. So anything that was heavy in the woodwinds, I had a lot of parts where flutes were by themselves. I couldn't play those pieces. Yeah, cut those from the repertoire. You know, you have to actually look at that preview of the score. You have to sit there and listen, and that takes a lot of time. So once you finally get your pieces, you know, you may not be able to fulfill what's on that manifest for the instrumentation, but if you can come close, I mean, you know, you can have some success. So your job as a band director when it comes to picking concert literature is making sure that you put your kids in the best position to be successful with that music.
Yeah, totally agree. You always got ideal setups. The unfortunate thing about dealing with high school band is almost nothing is ever ideal. You know, like ideally, I'd love to have 25 clarinet players for my wind ensemble, and 10 flute players, but the reality is, I think this year we had maybe like 6 flute players and maybe like 10 clarinets. And that's why I always say what you have is your burden to bear. Some people will say, man, I'd love to have 10 clarinets. So I understand that part of it too. But I'm looking at it like, man, I really want to play this piece, but I can't get it done with 10. I need that clarinet section to be much beefier. In general, though, what I say, Ricky, though, is one thing I'm big about is you don't want to exclude kids who working hard to try and be a part of the group, right? And so, like really our concert band this year and probably for the last couple of years, we are low brass heavy. Like, we have really for a wind ensemble, too many baritones, too many trombones, probably too many tubas. I think one of the goals we had going into this to this summer before COVID was that we were trying to recruit more kids so that we could split the concert band and make 2 concert bands. And Marc might remember those conversations that we had, the 3 of us. That was one of the big goals. We wanted to start a second concert band, really to give the players who were a little bit further along, be able to challenge them more, but then let the players who were maybe not as far along, have a chance to play music that was closer to their level, but also be able to balance out that band. So that really, Ricky, the big thing, what you're talking about more than the numbers, is kids understanding how to balance. And so, like I said, we got way too many trombones for a concert band of our size. We got way too many trombones for the amount of flutes and clarinets that we have. We got way too many saxophones. I think this year we had like 50 saxophones, in concert band, whereas I'm kind of like Mr. Knighton, like with a wind ensemble, you need 2 altos, a tenor, and a bari, really. But you don't want to tell all them saxophone players, hey, you've been working hard all year long, but now I want you to sit out. That's not right, and we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So then it becomes a thing of balance. How do we balance those 10 saxophone players, which is really too many, with what we have to do now? So you want to pick that music, like Ward said, pick the music that's going to help your band succeed, and then after that, it's your band understanding how to balance, when they need to come out, when they need to back off, how to play within the ensemble.
Okay. Well, I ain't gonna lie, fellas. Y'all done gave me a great interview. Y'all done answered some questions that people think I didn't want to ask or that I didn't know. My thing is, like, I laugh and bullshit and joke a lot about the band, but I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. It's certain people that I feed off of, that I like to be around. And when I see y'all, ask Marc every time I see him, I come up to him. My favorite thing gonna be is, man, them people gonna crank on y'all. And Marc do the same thing every time. You just being messy. But I know D, we've been online for almost 2 hours, but this gonna be my finale clip. I'm gonna dedicate this band life clip to you guys. This goes out to Port Arthur Memorial High School Band.
Shout out to Paul Arthur. One of the most slept on. Ricky, share the screen so people can see.
A little Teddy Riley going on.
Ricky, man, fix those speakers, man. Can't you hear that?
Check this man out.
That's a new Alex.
It's got to be fun, man. It's got to be fun.
Man, let's see. Actually,
I noticed y'all kept that PV drum field.
Mm-hmm. Man, we have some more questions for y'all. I said, what are some of the best ways to motivate your students to practice on their own to become better players?
That's from Javor. That's one of our band captains from this last year. That was a good question. Mr. Ward, you want to start that one?
He asking, what's some good ways to motivate the students? That's what.
Yeah, to motivate the students to practice on their own to become better players.
I like to make it competitive. That was always one of my ways of motivation. I put a lot of pressure on the upperclassmen, and I like to praise the underclassmen, or I like to praise students who don't get a lot of recognition when they're doing good. And I kind of put that little bug in here at the upperclassmen, like, hey, this freshman coming for you. You getting too comfortable. This freshman is getting better. And they low key, they right up on you, So are you gonna get better? Are you gonna get complacent? They're gonna pass you up soon. What you gonna do? So now that freshman also thinking, oh man, I can pass up this senior. So now the freshman is gonna continue to work. The upperclassman is gonna try to distance himself or herself from that freshman. So now you got both of them working to get better. To me, it's always, if everybody's doing what they got to do to make the entire program better, and then you're doing you're doing the right thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I always say, man, competition is the basis of all growth. like our band kids know, I like to watch nature shows. So anytime you watch nature shows, they always show you how, animals evolve, and it's always from competition, right? If they got to compete for food, if they got to compete for dominance of territory, whatever, that's what growth comes from. What I would also say to that question, though, is that is sometimes an ever changing thing of how to motivate kids. And I will say, it can sometimes be hard to keep, this generation of kids motivated. It's so many different things that they can really use their time. Take up the TikTok, like TikTok is blowing up.
Right.
Social media, video games. And I can't even say nothing about video games because the kids know I play video games. I'm waiting to get on GTA as soon as I get off of here and see my $1 million hit.
You and me both, man. You and me both.
So it's all of these different things. And so it becomes, kind of your job as a band director to constantly try to, and that's another part of, you got to examine yourself. Finding different ways to make it interesting, finding different ways to keep them motivated to practice. That might be, a kid trying to make it to state. There might be a kid trying to make the region band. There might be a kid who made the region band and they want to get a higher chair this year than what they got last year. Sometimes motivation might just be like, you telling them, man, a freshman ate your lunch, and now they don't want to, they don't want to hear nothing about the freshman eating their lunch. So competition, man, is a good thing. I say you always have to be looking for different ways to keep kids motivated, but competition is a good thing. I saw somebody in the comments asked a good question. They said, Mr. Frazier, Mr. Ward, do y'all compete like as far as like writing arrangements? I'll answer that for me because I always been this way. Like in my mind, yeah, like not outwardly, but in my mind, I hear Mr. Ward in the office and he plays something like, listen to this. And I'm like, ooh, that make me want to go find a song, and say like, okay, let me see what I could do with this song. And I had the same thing with Trent, man. That's one thing I loved about working with Trent is that it was a competition, but it was never a toxic thing. It was always iron sharpening iron. I want to compete with you because I acknowledge that what you do is great. I acknowledge that what you do is great. I acknowledge that I enjoy what you're doing, but also that competitive drive in me make me want to see if I can up it or make me want to see, you know what I mean? And then when that happens, to me, that's a beautiful thing because it's still a friendship. It's still a partnership. You're still working together. Same thing with Mr. Oliver. But also because you have that competitive drive, everybody's getting better. You know what I mean? And for me, if you can ever get, for me, I think this is something that we learned from Southern, Mr. Ward. Like when you would be in practice and it's the baritones going at the F horns, the trumpet standing on chairs, the trumpet, that's something that we just kind of internally learn is this all day, everyday competition. So that if we competing with each other all day, every single day for 5-6 days a week, when we got to come against you, now we've been battle ready all week. You know what I mean? Like we've been trying to push each other all week. Now we all coming for you, right? And the same thing with the directors. we get our time to go over songs and we trying to work those songs and fine tune those songs to make it absolutely perfect, for each other to hear. So now when we get to the end of the week and we got that other band sitting across the field, those songs have been kind of fine tuned as well as they can so that we can all really now go at the other people. So competition, but also I will admit as a band director, I have to work hard to try and find different ways to keep kids motivated.
Okay. Rick, man, you have any last words, any last comments for these guys, man?
Man, I can just say this has been a good interview, a great interview from Tory on down to these guys. I appreciate y'all stepping up and coming in at the end because it was only one person. And, I felt like I had a lot of questions to ask the other day, but I missed you, Alex. I missed that part. And I'm glad Marc was able to get on because, y'all kind of covered a lot of things that a lot of people don't want to talk about as far as speaking on musicality and music knowledge, speaking on the different phrases and things that kids need to hear from the band director standpoint. It's easy to pass out a rap tune rather than teaching out concert music. If a lot of more people teach, I think the basis of concert ensemble throughout the year their marching band will be much stronger than just trying to teach cranking. You know, because my thing is this here. Like when I was at Washington Marion, my whole thing used to be with Tamika, like, Mika, let's teach them the base of the music first. Let's break them down and teach the meat of the music. Once you teach the kid the meat of the music and they get the music, you could bring the volume how you want it. Teaching volume over the music, it hurts the music that is on the stand. You know, a lot of people don't play all the accents, the dynamics, the tone. A lot of people don't play the things that make the music. People think, oh, Southern cranking a song. No, Southern rehearse that music as it's written. They don't add what they want to add. They go to that music and teach that music the way it is written. Not, oh, this I got an A right here. 6 of us gonna take that A up on the next go round. That's not how it's taught. Fullness is the key. And I really appreciate the things y'all doing and the things y'all talked about. And I am outstanding pleased with this interview. Great interview, guys, man. You know, I know y'all got a big band. Trent gonna tell me that y'all need shirts. Man, y'all rich. Like I said, I can come out there and set that event up once they go. And I tell you something, I wouldn't mind doing it that Sunday after y'all battle the band. Martin Luther King weekend.
Man, we're gonna hope and pray on that battle band this year.
Hey,
like,
well, you know,
we
something.
definitely can't have what happened this year ever happen again, where we gotta pack everybody up into the gym, you know, at the last minute. So we're gonna hope.
Well, at least you had enough room to do that.
Right.
And you know, sometimes you got to just have faith in the man above and let God guide the situation. COVID is not bigger than God. So I pray and hope that the kids get a chance to at least have some type of football season and ensemble season the fall. They get to travel and do the necessary thing. But like I tell the dance coach when they ask me about my dance competition, safety for the kids and myself is first.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not safe, I'm not doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate you, Mark. I know you was tough on me earlier, but you know, it's all love in the heart.
With me, man. That was Trent, man.
Hey, Trent, no.
That was Trent, man.
Yeah, Trent asked about the Baker thing. As when Trent got the Baker, capital kind of declined. But
See,
we
you
told
thought that
Trent,
was me, didn't you?
But look, Trent ain't gonna tell you how we tore his ass up at Baker when he was with that white lady. We tore that ass up sitting in that end zone playing that white music. That chorus line, she didn't try to play black and blue. We lit a fire on their ass. No, 98. That was our
Mark,
more
man, you
strong.
got Ricky started again, man.
Oh no, but it is what it is, you know. But like if I could say it behind your back, I can say it to your face. Y'all know how I am. And man, keep pushing the bag, keep doing what y'all doing, man. I would love to come out there and watch y'all rehearse y'all concert band because I know y'all got some teaching methods that y'all got in place. And Alex, you always forever been humble. Stay yourself, man. That's why greatness follows y'all. Y'all like Mark, he arrogant, but he humble arrogant.
Come on, man.
Because all right,
Come on, man.
All right, Alex, ask me a question you're asking Mark.
Man, I'm pretty much the same stuff. Man, look, let me say this about.
All right, hey, look.
Seriously, let me say this.
Me
Let
and
me
you
say
at a
this
battle
about
of the
Mark.
bands. Look, we're at a battle of the bands.
Uh-huh.
And me and you standing by each other.
Oh,
I'm Mark.
Lord.
Ask me a question about somebody.
Ricky, what you think about him? Who louder, Ricky? I mean, what?
Hey, that's his attitude right there. Look, he gonna give you an answer with his hand in his right pocket, like, man,
Yep.
Whatever. but guess what? When me and Mark have those conversations at battles, it be the truth. It's not about my friend got a better band. Like it be some battle bands, people get robbed, and you be like, what the
right?
Who up there? But man, you know,
let me say this about Mark and Larry before y'all wrap this up. Again, man, I cannot express how much it is fun to come to work with them guys. It's just fun. Like if you know anybody who know Mr. Ward know, you know, he a funny guy, but also, you know, sometimes he be a man of like very few words, but when it's time to work, you know, it's time to get in front of another band, it's time to compete. What I really love, when it's time to grind, you know, I don't have to look for my other two counterparts. You know, I definitely don't want to leave out Mr. Oliver, our other band director. Them guys are fun to work with every day. They may come in. I still used to say the same thing about working with Mr. Johnson with Trent. You know, it's easy to come to work when you enjoy the people you're working with. You enjoy the stuff you're doing. You enjoy. I want to give a shout out. I see a bunch of our kids in the comments. I hope they be on time for this this virtual leadership camp Monday, like they all up on here right now.
I heard y'all band director, huh?
Yeah, they make it easy to come to work, man, because this band is tiring. You know, there's a lot of people get burnt out on band because of all of the challenges that come with it. And it's challenging. It's very challenging. But man, when you got other directors who make it fun, you got kids that want to get better. I can't applaud Memorial High School kids enough. I think it's people who really think that we got stuff that we don't have in Port Arthur. Port Arthur ain't rich. Port Arthur is a school with 95% of the students on free or reduced lunch. We're a Title I school. A lot of people don't think that. They see our school and it is a nice school, but you know that's just tax dollars at work. You know, but the biggest asset that we have at that school is nothing monetary. It's the people. And you got a bunch of kids that will bust they behind every day, take getting fussed at, cussed at, hollered at, and show up the next day. Not mistreated, but you know, they'll take that criticism, apply what's being said, and come back. And then you got band directors who just love the craft, take the craft seriously, enjoy each other getting better, and push each other to get better. So that'll be, I guess, the last thing I would want to say here.
Hey, one question.
I really enjoy working with all of them.
Javi, I think it's Javi, Javo, Zeno Jr. Javar. He say, ask Mr. Frazier his crab name. I think I know it.
You know what it is. Everybody know if you go anywhere around Southern, nobody call me by my first name. They call me Big Mo. And that's
I know Big Mo. I knew that. He typed that. Then one of the kids said,
he just graduated. That's why he getting flipped on the internet. So I'm gonna let that one go.
What school he going to?
I don't know. I think maybe Prairie View.
Okay. Since you want to play with my friend Big Mo on Facebook, on social media, and on YouTube, I'm gonna make sure I reach out to
Ricky, man. That's a kid, man. That's a kid. Calm down, man.
No, I'm gonna make sure you have a good walk at Prairie View. I ain't gonna do him nothing. It's
Man,
only phone call, but I ain't gonna lie, y'all, man. This comment been great, man. I love y'all. He said he going to PV March and Storm. Shout out to them.
Prairie View.
And man, like I can't wait to see what the product that y'all bringing to fall 2000 if Corona, the government allow it to happen. But I look forward to seeing y'all guys and taking pictures and recording y'all ensemble more. Then, you know, I with D, I want to get D more over towards Port Arthur during football season, so we can get y'all some more coverage instead of one or two battle bands out the year. Want to actually get y'all during the football season marching in. I would like to come like a Thursday and catch y'all doing like a dress rehearsal in the band room, take pictures and record, and then catch y'all for that Friday night for the game. You know, man, we're gonna make sure everything gets love, and I enjoyed this, man. This is my first serious interview without arguing with somebody, because when I did it with Johnny, he was so New Orleans and so arrogant. And the thing is, with this interview, it's a combination of Louisiana going to Texas and Texas. So you got best of both worlds in one group. How good is it to have best of both worlds in one group? Not one cross town, one, but at the same time.
Man, I just want to thank both of y'all, you know, for coming in and doing this at the last minute. I know, you know, we kind of put y'all on the spot, man. And shout out to Marc, man. He's been a big supporter. You know, ever since I started doing these interviews, you know, he tuned into them. So Marc, man, shout out to you. Shout out to Alex, man. I like what y'all doing. And just like Ricky said, if we have a band season, we would definitely be out there.
I ain't talking about for the independents. I mean, for the battle band, I'm talking about for a football game. Yeah, do y'all play Beaumont Central? United?
Yeah. Beaumont United, yeah. Yeah, we played them as a regular game. Yeah.
That's the game we going to.
Mhm.
Hope
Yeah.
to see y'all there.
If y'all need
And-
anything, man, y'all can reach out to either me or Ricky. You know, if y'all need
Man, like I say, and also, man, I'm working on I'm working on a grant right now. I got somebody typing it up for me, like to help the inner city band programs. If y'all have, if I can fit y'all in my budget, y'all need some stuff in Texas. You know, I know a couple people. Let me know. I'll try to make it happen for you guys. You know, it's about the kids. It's not about me, you, or y'all. It's about making sure the kids have everything that they need. Music matter because music betters a kid in math. Keep doing what y'all doing, guys. I love y'all. Peace.
What's up, love, man.
Hey,
Right.
Mark, you got to cook for me. You got the barbecue. I know you got that good barbecue flavor going.
I'm gonna do a little something, man. Frazier just got a brand new pit, man. So y'all gonna meet up at his house, man.
Oh man,
Nah, we're gonna roll that thing on to the stadium. Gate 1.
that sounds like
Barbecue
a
on
plan to
gate
me.
1. Hey, look, Mark.
Hey,
4
bring
pigtails
that, bring
and
that
2
grill
chicken
to the
wings.
game.
Nah, Mark,
About
that
to fire
seafood.
up tomorrow for Juneteenth Part 2.
There you go.
Now,
There you go.
Mark, that seafood I went and
There you
got,
go.
man, I end up paying $35 for some number 2 crabs for like 85 crabs in a bushel, and like $20 for like 20 pounds of number 2 shrimp.
You hitting it, man. You set, bro. You good.
I'm about to go light it up in a second. But man, like I say, man, Alex, I'm glad you came on and did the interview with me, Mark. I appreciate, you know, even when, man, y'all ain't never got to worry about me acting no other way. We're gonna crack jokes, but when it's time to be serious, it's gonna be serious. Who is they saying bring Mr. Martin to the interview?
Marc, Beaumont band director.
Yeah. So for people who may not know, Mr. Martin at Beaumont worked in Port Arthur up until about 3 years ago. So some of the kids that are in the band, he was some of their middle school director. So, you know, they really enjoy that rivalry. Kids been from Port Arthur, they know that we grew up together. You know, we were in the band together in middle school, high school, and still good friends. We were been in our graduate classes together.
Hey,
we were helping each other in graduate school just last semester. So
can we get a triangle, a tri-city alumni band going with Washington, Marion, Orange?
Washington, man, hold on. That's kind of far out, Ricky.
That's the Golden Triangle.
Golden Triangle is Beaumont, Port Arthur, Orange.
What I said is.
You said it was all the way out to Lake Charles.
Exactly. So we'll make it there. I'm actually moving back. Because my mama had took sick in March, and she had like 98% kidney failure. So wow. I got her back on her feet, got her back walking, taking care of herself, doing everything on her own. So in the fall, I'm gonna be moving towards. I ain't gonna tell y'all where I'm going, but I'll be in the area a lot more than y'all think. Okay. I think I might be at Southeastern Baptist in Beaumont, working in the pharmacy. I'm waiting on that call back in the day now. So y'all need me, I'll be that way. Yeah. All right, man. Love y'all boys, man.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Port Arthur Memorial.
All right.
Hold on, where is that, D?
We're gonna end the show with this, y'all. Port Arthur playing Victory Lap.
Let me start it over.
Shout out to all the kids that's in Port Arthur band in the comments, man. It's y'all playing. Shout out to the comment section. You got that video, Rick?
You can hear it?
A little bit. Turn your volume up.
Huh?
Turn your volume up.
Hold on.
Not really. Not really. It's our clip of the week, y'all. Paul Arthur Memorial. Victory lap. If I haven't seen it, make sure y'all go check that clip out on my YouTube page.
Shout out to Band Life for the clip.
Man, these kids sound good, y'all.
There go the Mo dance.
It's our clip of the week, y'all. Clip of the week. Paul Arthur Victory lap.
Them bands are like, woo, ah-doo-doo.
B-Tone singing. All right, y'all. We out, man. Until next week, man. Y'all stay safe.
Man, peace, love, and harmony to all the band kids. Shout out to the Port Arthur staff and the Tory at Baker Middle, man. Great interview that you gave. Also, man, shout out to the kids from Port Arthur that was in the comments. I just saw one of them told me, prayers to my mama, man. Listen, God is the head of that situation. Some things we can't argue with. And, I just want to tell you to the person that said that, thank you. And, you have my blessings, my everything, in your life enduring. Prayers to your family. Y'all stay safe during COVID-19. And I'm just praying. I just want to pray that the kids have a chance to perform this fall, So band directors, y'all stay safe. Make sure those kids are safe. And D, when we hang up, call me.
All right.
All right.
All
Yeah,
right,
later.